volume relative to Brood War sounds. Actually, I'm gonna have to edit a thing or two here real quick, like turning on D&D, but my Brood War sounds are not going through the computer, so let's do this. Kill that. People saying volume seems okay. Let's see if I got Brood War sounds through here now. Yes, alright. How is my voice balanced with the game sounds? Reasonable? Too much game? Too little game? What is the feeling here? And then we'll pretty much get into this. I mean, this is actually already game one of Mikami versus Fat Reaver. So in the bottom left-hand corner as the Purple Terran, we have Mikami. And in the top right-hand corner as the Teal Protoss, we have Fat Reaver. Alright, so people saying maybe just a smidge more game. We'll give it just a little bit of that. Maybe a little bit more there and see how we are. If that's a little too much, you guys can let me know. But alright, so Mikami, shoot, I think Mikami has Stardom in the Plebs, but I'm gonna find out and make sure. So I make sure I know what series I'm casting. Okay. Stardom in the Plebs versus Assimilate. Assimilate. No Oreos today. In fact, we are getting back on not eating like a retard. So the past few days have been very different food. Mostly salmon and tuna, a little bit of rice, some vegetables, and blueberries or strawberries. Like super healthy. Super healthy, 1800 calories a day kind of stuff. I was on the verge of starting to get like towards chunky, and I was like, nope, we're not going there. Not going there. Normally I'm hanging out at like, I don't know, 140 pounds, 64, 65 kilos. I was almost up to 75 kilos. I was like 74. I was like, oh, okay, this is gonna get ridiculous. Anyway, probe scouting into the base. Gonna find the barracks building, and no gas yet, so it looks like Mikami is going to be doing Rack CC, or he's got the latest gas in the world. Or he's gonna do some super late thing with barracks in the center with no gas, but that would just not be a build, so I predict he won't do that. We've got our gateway, should be a cybercore. Oh, whoa, what? Arc Times is gonna be doing some super fucking Zlot pressure right here. As he's already making one Zlot. Interesting he didn't proxy the gateway in this case. I mean, this is like PvP level gateways here. A lot of times in PvT, you know, making one Zealot, but he already got second pylon. Is he gonna make a second Zealot before core? No, it looks like he will get his core after this Zealot, but definitely going for the harass. Although I guess Circuit Breaker isn't buildable in the center, if I recall. I don't ever try to build buildings in the center of Circuit Breaker, and I've been playing mostly Zerg, so I'm slightly unfamiliar, but I don't recall Terrans ever setting up any pushes, so I'm pretty damn sure the center's unbuildable. Command center on the way for Mikami, or however you want to say it. And last time these two, oh look at that, we got a little gas deal. Of course, it's a Rack CC, so I don't know how great the gas deal is, but it's going to be a little bit annoying. We'll take a little bit longer to clear out with the Zealot here, and of course it's already gotten 2 hits on the Marine. So, oh, almost gets a really nice block, but just shy. And oh, this Marine is desperately trying to hide, but can't pull it off. Fortunately for Mikami, there's not a second Zealot on the way. If he does a good job just running these SCVs, he could just fight those a lot with the SCVs. I don't know if he has it down low enough in health to quite leave 2 SCVs to fight it, but just going to micro around a little bit here. Should be able to take care of this without any more significant losses. Nice trap will finish off the life of the Zealot. But the downside for Mikami is, let's face it, I mean, he did pull, you know, 6-7 SCVs and chase that Zealot around for some time. So definitely a cost on mining. That's absolutely going to be slowing down his factory timing and his gas timing by a not insignificant amount. And we can see there's no factory started and 2 goons already on the way here for Fat Reaver. So certainly this could become a dangerous situation for Mikami if he isn't careful. You can see this, although the goon took a while to shoot, but Fat Reaver running past the SCV now. I like the move, but it's funny because he's going to let the SCV in. And at this point, he just wants to get the Dragoon over there. But the thing is, the bunker's going up. So he'll be able to repair. Of course, with that factory timing, these Dragoons are going to have quite a long time to shoot at this bunker. And if he really pumps Dragoons off 2 gateways, Makami's going to get into that fun situation where you have SCVs spilling out so far into repairing that they almost get auto-targeted by the goons, which is where the pressure gets really uncomfortable. You know, like 4 goons, a little bit, alright, but when you start getting up to like 5, 6, 7 Dragoons, they kill the bunker so fast, too, that not only do your SCVs spill over and get targeted, it's one of those things where if you don't click and your repair finishes and you don't start re-repairing, bunker dies so easily. But I don't think he has range quite yet. Yeah, it's not going to be done quite yet. He did get that core reasonably slow. This is not so great. Oh, he doesn't lose it though, thankfully. He has very wisely chosen to build 4 Marines. I highly recommend that in most situations, because if you just build 1 or 2 and toss as wise to that bunker is not much of a deterrent. If you build 1 or 2 Marines and siege a tank back up here, and toss has recognized that, he'll just run his goons by and be like, 2 Marine hits? Like, it's nothing scary at all. He's going to go straight for 2 facts. More Dragoons arriving. Looks like his range upgrade is done, so he should be able to position those to shoot at the bunker. Needs to move this guy around just a little bit. We got some more on the way. 2 factories going up. And yeah, we can see he stopped Dragoon production ever so briefly to get a Nexus, but he's not putting a huge halt in it. Got to be careful with those pylons, but we got 4 shooting. We've got, wait, is that not Dragoon? Oh, never mind. He had a pretty decent pause right here. 5th one will be out. Should be tanks out right in time. Oh! Okay. That's going to delay his tank even more. I mean, he's going to have, I think, a brief period where 6 or 7 Dragoons are shooting at this bunker with no tanks. So, I mean, that's going to be costing a significant amount of minerals and be a little bit scary. In fact, he is nervous enough about this that we can see he's forced to start a 2nd bunker already. I think he could actually target... Well, no, he couldn't. This Marine is being very dumb right now. It's going to die. Decided to go on a little vacation to death. Alright, so he's almost got his machine shop. He's got his machine shop done, but he's got to start a tank. Doesn't appear to have enough money. It looked like he wanted to dive on the bunker, but I don't really know if that's the ideal decision at this point. But here comes Dragoon 6 and 7. There's not even a tank started. This is going to get ridiculously dangerous for Makami at this point, although Fat Reaver is having a hell of a time getting positioned right now. He's not really getting any good harassing with these Dragoons. Oh, he's losing them. Oh, so Fat Reaver is botching. I don't know if there's bad lag, but this is like... He's being way too aggressive here. He should just hold position these goons and just hammer the fuck out of that bunker. But he's actually making life kind of relaxed for Makami. But no siege has started yet. He's trying to pick off these SCVs, being really cute, but I honestly feel like it's a little bit overkill. And in the meantime, he's just pumping goons. I mean, this Dragoon number could get really dangerous. I mean, he's about to have enough where he can just dive on the bunker and go for it. And certainly tank snipe is in play here. 5 Marines at the front, definitely helping. He's going for it, but he's not going to get it. Makami is wise to it. This is a big cost here from Fat Reaver, who's going to lose all his goons. This is a huge overextension from Fat Reaver. Maybe if he slips them all into the main, but Makami is blocking this, and suddenly Fat Reaver's wonderful position is mostly evaporated. Yes, 2 Dragoons in the main is pretty annoying. I'm a little surprised Makami's pulling all of his Marines. I think that's overkill, especially with the tank on the way, but he probably doesn't want to lose that 1 tank. No micro, or minimal micro, though, from Fat Reaver. It's going to leave those Dragoons lower on health, but here come the next Dragoons spilling in here, and if the bunkers die at the front, the situation could absolutely get scary for Makami, who is heavily focused on trying to surround these guys. He is starting to drop them in the side of the base. Unfortunately, the multitask is a little bit too much for Fat Reaver right now, who is just finally able to position those, and we can see, yes, the first bunker is going to die, and the second bunker is also going to die, because Makami's reaction time is not fast enough. He has sieged a tank up there, and Fat Reaver debating whether he wants to go in, deciding not to, now scuttling back, now trying to go... I don't know what that was. Some very questionable Dragoon movements here from Fat Reaver. Oh, who loses 2 Dragoons. Makami definitely with some money problems, but if you look at their economies, they're actually reasonably equal right now. Fat Reaver wasn't exactly doing the greatest job ever probing during that. In fact, in general, he was just over-microing that. Minerals are definitely a little on the high side. Lost reinforcements a bit, and it looks like for the moment Makami's going to be safe. You know, he didn't get an insane advantage off of that, not the typical advantage you'd expect from Rack CC defending Zlot Harass into 2 gates, but Makami's still in a fine position at this point. You know, especially because Fat Reaver gave away all those Dragoons. If he would have kept all those Dragoons alive right now and still had 12, 15 Dragoons, the position would be reasonably comfortable for Fat Reaver, even with the weak economy. But this is turned into quite an even game. We can see Makami is going to go up to 4 factories here. Now, there's 2 possibilities here. He does have scans, so this might be influencing it, but this is the first time I've heard the scan going off, and it looks like it could very well have been some of his first scans. So it's possible he's going up to 4 facts just because he's worried, he's been harassed, he knows he knows Fat Reaver is making a lot of Dragoons, and he wants to expand safely. The other possibility, of course, is he's like, hey, you suicided a lot of Dragoons, and you're expanding, or I think you're going to expand, so I am going to go 4 or 5 facts and pressure the shit out of you. He's double upgrading, which, I mean, that's kind of normal. Nothing super out of the ordinary here. Fat Reaver is going up to 4 gates, and he is getting Zealot speed, so he's definitely going to have some tools to handle this in the event Mikami chooses to be aggressive. And I'm just seeing supply depots, and this is getting kind of late for a CC, so at this point I'm definitely thinking we might see some aggression from Mikami. Although the Dragoon count right now from Fat Reaver is still at about 7 Dragoons, and there's only 4 tanks out from Mikami and a few Vultures, which really isn't enough yet to mow over this army. And it looks like, wisely, I do agree with this decision, Fat Reaver has not transitioned into his Zealots yet. And the general rule is you start making Zealots once you're about halfway to Zealot speed, but because he got Zealot speed so fast, that's interesting. We'll need to see what comes of that. Might be taking to Arbiters, which is kind of fast, especially if he starts losing Dragoons like this. But having gone for... I lost my train of thought slightly. Shoot. I completely lost my train of thought. Maybe it'll come back, maybe it won't. Alright, here comes. He's trying to come across the bridges, doing the tricky route, although he's bleeding a Vulture already, and now the tank's coming out across the bridges, so this is definitely intended to be aggressive from Mikami. And these Dragoons have gone completely the wrong direction. He really should bring them back to help. Oh, this is really nice mines. Oh, man, Arc Times has got to, like, post up with those Dragoons. They are eating a lot of damage already. Here comes another large reinforcement, though. Tanks need to siege here. They're in good position, but some of the Dragoons are getting on top of the tanks, and a few of those tanks sieged on mines, but he quickly forces Fat Reaver back across the bridges, which is a good start for Mikami, but of course the challenge here, especially with the Zealots, is going to be coming across those bridges. He's probably going to need to go up here and siege at the third. I don't think he has enough army to just purely charge on top of the bridges, and as is the case with any push, although he's only working off 4 gateways, so I guess that is a good thing here for Fat Reaver. And actually, Arc Times is going to try to come down from the top, which, honestly, the tanks are very exposed right now, but I think the Vultures can move into position and mine these Dragoons and zone them out if they get down there quick enough. And here they come. Are there enough units? It doesn't look like it right now. Vulture's coming in, and it looks like he's wasted most of our army. He is trying to get on those tanks. Oh, these mines these close to the tanks are a little bit dangerous, but the army's taken down, and let's remember, he only has 4 gateways. And of course, he's completely open to Vulture harass right now, macroing Dragoons, and he hasn't actually started his Arbiter tech. So a case of going for a little too much, a little too fast right now for Fat Reaver, in addition to that attack, overcommitting, not quite able to get it, and Mikami is suddenly doing quite a bit of damage, and obviously he has the option to send a Vulture or 2 up here and shut down both bases, which is exactly what you want to do when you're going for one of these timing pushes. And now sieging into the natural, more reinforcements on the way. We'll see if he sends a unit or 2 to shut down the third base. He should, but the natural base is completely going down with 4 gates of production against 4 factories. You can see, obviously, 4 factories not enough for Mikami at this point, so he's starting to bake minerals, but he's not going to have the reinforcements needed to break this, although we're having a little bit of an engagement. He brought those 3 Dragoons back up from down there to fight, and that will allow him temporarily to clear this out, but reinforcements for Mikami are going to be coming in faster, sieging that tank back up. And the next round coming out, but again, neither player has anywhere near the gateways. Now up to 6 for Fat Reaver, which might give him a chance, but reinforcements streaming in right now for Mikami, and if he continues to stream reinforcements and not have his Vultures out of range of the Zealots, this fight could go a lot better for him. Dragoon's gonna... oh, nope, Dragoon dies. And yeah, finally he's got the Vultures in here, so now he has shut down both bases, and this is exactly the position you want as Mikami. Going to be incredibly difficult for Fat Reaver to come back, especially as these Nexus go down. I mean, he hasn't lost a ton of probes yet, but he's very likely to lose a Nexus here, if he can even clear this. I mean, if Fat Reaver could bust this swiftly and efficiently without losing one of these Nexuses, he would be in an okay spot, especially since Mikami has no plans on expanding, if we look at the minimap. And he has saved quite a few of his probes. However, that's contingent on busting out of here. And I don't know if he can do that, although Mikami's not looking that great with reinforcements. He's finally throwing down, holy moly, he's throwing down everything at once. He's like, oh yeah, I probably need to go macro. He's going to lose at least 1 base. And then he is going to come back down here, so he's just a little too slow, unfortunately, and those Vultures will be able to kill that base, but he is going to reestablish himself. Hopefully he'll get the probes transferred down to this base here quite quickly, and Mikami may be in danger here of overextending himself. Let's see if these Vultures run by. It'd be a great moment to run by, as the Dragoons are on top of the tanks, but he's trying to lay a bunch of really nice mines. almost pretty good mine dragging from Fat Reaver, but he does get rid of the tank, and now we have a scout out. I'm not sure this is a BM scout. I think this is just a holy shit I'm dying to tanks and vultures panic sort of scout, because he has a Stargate and needs to spend his money. I really don't think it's like a BM I've got you beat scout, because I wouldn't say he hasn't beat, and we can see Mikami behind this, clearly intending to double expand. He is finally pulling back his units, this tank having a little trouble, but he realizes he's kind of overextended, and Fat Reaver in position for decent tech. I mean, he has started his starport now. Is he getting a science? That was probably a science. No, it's an armory. A lot of buildings going down pretty quickly here from Mikami, so he's getting his control tower, but I don't see a science facility anywhere. And now it looks like Fat Reaver going to come down and try to put on some counter pressure, which could work. I mean, he is macroing out of 6 gateway, although Black reinforcements is going to make it hard for it to work. But I mean, he is macroing out of 6 gateways. The scout is, well, it's going to be a little bit annoying, but I don't think it can do anything long term, especially as he makes a Goliath or two in here. His armory is very close to being done. He could honestly repair the tank just like you could against one Wraith if he really needs to. But he's going to get over here and find the 4th base, and that base will die. In fact, Mikami is not even going to attempt to survive it, so it's good he's limited him to 3 bases. However, there's still a Vulture alive back here that has been thwarting attempts to expand to that base, and oh man, Mikami needs to get this command center off the ground here right now. Losing the one command center isn't great, but if you were to lose both, that would be absolutely disastrous. Now Vulture's coming down here to pick off some Zealots, but they will need to turn around once the Dragoons arrive. And Mikami feeling confident enough now to move some tanks forward. Siege tank, or Scout still going, you know, tot, which is just really annoying because you keep hearing that you're under attack. And then you're like, oh, it's just a Scout. It's okay. It's okay. My tank will take 8 years to die. And there we go. Mikami wisely getting the repair going on the single tank. A few DTs being made. Not a bad choice, although there's plenty of energy. In fact, a concerning amount of energy in the comsats. That much energy means Mikami has literally no idea what's happening right now. He does try to run this Vulture in, but is not able to do so. And now we're going to have what looks to be a double expand from Fat Reaver as well to try to get back in the game. But things still okay for Fat Reaver. He's reestablishing his 3rd. He's denied mining from Mikami. He stopped the 4th base. He kept Mikami from getting into a crazy good macro position. And now, I guess, with all of his factories up and money spent, Mikami has designs on going for a counterattack on Fat Reaver. And the army is really split up here. If he loses all these Zealots, this is going to put him in a very bad position. He realizes now he needs to turn around and bring Dragoons up. And he's like, oh, hi, that's a lot of tanks. And this is a pretty scary army from Mikami. Not a lot of Zealots right now. A shit ton of DTs, though. But unfortunately, Mikami has not been scanning, which might work out in his favor in this particular situation, as he's not going to be able to just slip in endless DTs to harass the tanks. But clearly, Mikami's army right now far superior. So now the DTs are going to start to be annoying, but Mikami has a lot of scans, and it looks like Fat Reaver's committing to this engagement, which is not a good idea. These Dragoons desperately need to back up right now. The DT somehow going unnoticed as it goes to work on the tanks. Now he's got to notice it, right? There's the scan. We'll lose 1 or 2 tanks. And of course that is a lot of DTs. He definitely needs to bleed them in one by one. However, mines and bank scan are going to be a major problem here. If he can buy a little bit of time, there's definitely a chance. Tanks are unsieged, which makes this DT significantly less effective. This another scan goes down, and again, he's got like a boatload of scans. He's not even like flinching at the energy he has to spend. He's probably thinking, holy fucking DTs, man. Oh, he sends 2 at once, but no. No, he's going to need to make a lot of DTs. Honestly, though, with this position in the center, he can theoretically make enough DTs to hold this push, because Mikami is not going to get... In fact, I think he's going to be able to defend that way. This is actually going to hold the push. He can just, if he keeps making DTs, if he doesn't give up, yeah, and he's not giving up the ghost. I mean, this is absolutely 100%, especially if Mikami can't get down more mines. Preemptive scan going off from Mikami. Is he going to start adding a comsat down here as he starts to burn through his scans? I mean, I think this absolutely can delay him long enough. He's down to like 2 scans. Well, he's going to have 3. He's down to 3 scans. So he is slowly reducing this tank count. Unfortunately, the bad news for Fat Reaver is that this base is not actually mining right now. More DTs trying to slip out. Of course, he needs to run Zealots in first to drag these mines. If the DTs just die to mines, it's not so great. But he is back on top of the tanks. He can continue to bait out these scans, but the problem right now is the map control here from Mikami is shutting down any sort of mining. Not that he's even transferred probes over there yet, but with him on 3 bases against Mikami, or him on 2 bases with Mikami on 3. The situation is going to start to spiral out of control for Fat Reaver. Nice mind drag, but in spite of these endless DTs, it's still going to spiral out of control, and it looks like now Fat Reaver wants to break out. A lot of Zealots coming across the bridge on top of the tanks. There's not that much in the way of Dragoon support, though, so if some Vultures gather over here, and we do have reinforcements, they will be able to clean up those Zealots reasonably easy, trying to drag a mine onto these tanks, but it is stuck somewhere way back there. Really unfortunate mine glitch here. Preventing Fat Reaver from pulling the mine into Mikami's army, and now Fat Reaver's again defending desperately at his bridges, but I think he's just running out of resources. The Vultures have killed the 4th base. Mikami, I think, still has just enough scans to go through, and if the natural falls this time, it's absolutely over, and it's still looking really, really bad because Mikami, of course, has secured that 3rd base. He's actually way behind in SCVs, but 3 bases is way better right now because they're mining out, and Fat Reaver's forced to say GG. It's Flash vs. Bisu. Flash vs. Bisu. Alright. So, Mikami takes game 1 after looking like he was surely going to lose game 1. And that means we will be going into game number 2. So, spawning in the top left-hand corner of what I'm pretty sure is Jade, which is confirmed by the fact that it tells me it's Jade, is Mikami as the yellow Terran, and as the white Protoss on the right side of the map, we have none other than Fat Reaver, also known as Arc Times. Man, that first game, that was an interesting game. I mean, obviously there were, a decent number of mistakes early on that could have been capitalized on, and Arc Times kind of threw it away with getting way, way too carried away with the tank snipe. I think he got in one of those positions where he's like, I got a shit ton of goons. He doesn't even have a tank yet. Like, I just want to end this game now, especially with his late expansion. But he just got a little too overeager and didn't back out once that tank got reasonably away. And then he realized, oh man, I'm way in here. Past the bunkers getting shot at. I gotta try something. He tried to run by, but Mikami had good blocking, and only two Dragoons got in. But if Mikami, I think honestly, it would have been a lot stronger for Mikami if he just would have hold positioned all 7 Dragoons at the bunker, pulling back the ones the tank shoots at, and then waiting for siege. Like, he could have just kept a ton of resources down. There's a good chance that if Mikami loses concentration for just a second, the bunker dies, especially with that many Dragoons attacking. That's going to 2-shot a bunker. It's going to be even faster than 4, and we can see again we've got this forward gateway here from Fat Reaver, so likely to see some Zlot harass, which will be pretty nice against the rack CC opening, as obviously you're delaying the factory, so it's going to force a very solid Marine micro. And with the barracks positioned up here, I mean, it's normal, but with the barracks positioned up here, and there won't initially be a nice depot wall to micro around, especially if the Zealot just runs by into the main. So it'll be a little bit trickier for Mikami to defend this slot than in a normal opening. I'm assuming Zlot. I mean, that is a really early second pylon, though. Obscenely early. You're not supposed to build it that early. You're supposed to build that pylon after you start the Zlot and the gateway. Just FYI. It's pylon, gateway, Zealot, second pylon. He did pylon, gateway, pylon, Zealot. Just a little bit inefficient. And what is he going to do next? Probably take his... He's not going to take his gas? Is he going to expand? Is he going to expand off one gate, no gas? I mean, I guess... Since Mikami is playing fast expansion, I would never play PvT like this, but it'll be interesting to see how this works out. He's definitely delaying the second Zlot to get that expansion down pretty quick. And we'll see if he does opt to make a second Zlot, or if he goes straight to core. I mean, he needs his core badly, because there will be tanks and vultures coming out here from Mikami without a doubt in a reasonable time. But it looks like he's opted to make a second Zlot before the core. He's going to need to really delay nicely with these Zlots. Or things are going to get a little bit scary, but it certainly has the opportunity to. Again, like I said, there's no SimCity to micro, so it's going to be about SCVs and blocking and general control, which right now has been okay, but keep in mind, this is 4, 5, 6 SCVs off the line. Marine trying to get off a few hits. Second Zlot is out now, should be on the way. Still no sign of a core. And he really needs to make one. There you go. That's probably going to be the core. Alright, so he's made 2 slots core, trying to get on top of this Marine, but it is not working right now. It is not taking a hit yet. I mean, there's a lot of just walking around going on, like neither player's been hit much. But so far, Makami's doing a good job buying time for these Marines, and now he's got them almost split up. SCV's continuing to get a few pot shots off, and it looks like Makami's feeling confident to come to the front, but there's another Zealot coming in here, and now the multitask is going to be really on display here. If he doesn't notice this... Oh, what? Okay, I was going to say that's a little bit better, but it looks like he's killed the 1 Zealot in the main, I hope. It looks like, yeah, it's dead. But he's keeping the Marine count very, very low right now. This Marine down to just 1 shot on the downside. Oh, there's actually a 3rd Zealot on the way, but not crisp and smooth production. Makami's trying to get that bunker up, where there will be Dragoons on the way. Of course, the core is super, super delayed, and now there's a lot going for this Marine, keeping it down, so it's keeping the Marine count very, very low, and Makami's just desperately trying to run this Marine around. He wants nothing more than to get it in the bunker, which is going to happen, but there's the possibility for a run-by, although nice blocking there from Makami. Probably put that Marine in the bunker. And this slot can definitely run by if it wants to. Let's see how if he pulls... Nope, not fast enough pulling SCVs. Gonna go straight for this Marine. If he's intending to follow up with Dragoon pressure... Oh, but he doesn't get it. Bugs this lot out a little bit, unable to get the kill on the Marine they should have got. And he's coming with 3-gate Dragoon pressure, so under that circumstance, I definitely like going for the Marines. But we can see this time it's a lot different. He's got his 2 factories almost done even before the first Dragoon is going to arrive, as opposed to last game. There were already 3 or 4 Dragoons attacking before the first Goon arrived. The downside to this is that Fat Reaver's economy is running okay, and he's running off 3 gateways, although I don't think he started range. Oh man, this Marine. Oh, it's a good block though. Good block over in the side there. Still has just 2 in the bunker, although he has a 3rd that he can just pop right in anytime he wants. And continuing to harass all over the place here, getting some kills with the slots, and there are 2 alive, and with just 1 Marine, he's going to have to make vultures initially, which is not what you want to do. He is doing an okay job backing the Dragoon off, maybe a little too far, but the vulture's out now, so that will finally... Where is this? Oh, it's tagging a supply depot. Will finally end this harass. However, there are already going to be Dragoons at the front. So, what is this? This is stupid. Don't, okay, maybe this works. I don't think so, though. No, this is a little too aggressive. I mean, this Dragoon is just going to get trapped and die. Although he's going to bleed some Marines to do it. Well, if there's... Oh, there's not micro, though, because his range is so far away. So, he can't really micro against that, even. I don't know. Now he's got to deal with these vultures. I think he should have just sat outside the front with his Dragoons and waited for range. And now we have a probe also going out. I don't know where this probe is headed. It very well might get intercepted by the vultures out on the map right now, and we can see Makami's going to add or Fat Reaver's going to add a robo in addition to his 3 gateways, getting that 2nd gas. Makami working off 2 factories, adding a 3rd. No sign right now of an engineering bay, and Fat Reaver's going to go into a more defensive play, put these Dragoons on the ramp. I'm not totally sold on these Dragoons on the ramp this early, simply because Vulture could easily pop by here, especially if speed finished, and shoot right in there, which would be problematic this early on. And he doesn't know exactly what Makami has right now. Now, he will intercept this Vulture, so that'll be nice. And the 2nd Vulture is maybe going to try up and run by. And see, this is exactly what I'm talking about. If he just goes underneath... Now, fortunately for him, there's not speed. Imagine if those Vultures had speed. The reaction from the probes is good, but again, if the Vulture had speed, which is something Fat Reaver didn't know, it could have done a lot more damage. It's still going to pick up... Well, maybe it's not. I thought it was going to pick up a few kills, but honestly... Doesn't get too much in value from out of that. Little heavy on the probe queuing right now. But I guess he's been hearing through the casts, make probes, so he's making sure he's got probes. Them probes are important. And again, we see a factory explosion along with an academy and eBay. But if we look at our economic positions, unlike last game where he was 20-30 supply behind, Makami is at a pretty reasonable supply right now, more or less even with Protoss, actually a little bit ahead in worker count, and he is going to go ahead and get up to the same factory count as Fat Reaver, which is always kind of that sort of iffy point as Protoss, where, you know, a Terran on equal factories can be a little bit dangerous, dual upgrading, so it's looking pretty similar to what he did last game, probably intending to 4-fact him. Again, it's getting a bit late to see a CC. You know, he's already gone to 4 factories, produced several rounds off the 4 factories, made both the Academy and the eBay. No sign of armories, so it's certainly looking like he's going to go for a push. He is going to throw a turret up here at home just in case. And in the meantime, it looks like the tech is on the way here for Fat Reaver, who also, by the way, has insanely late observers. Like, he has no idea what Mikami is doing, and it's still going to be, like, he might not know that Mikami is moving out with a push until the push is at his front door. I mean, this is realistically too late to have scouting on Terran and play effectively. So that Vulture's just going to run up to the front, but that's not going to do anything to scare Fat Reaver. It's not going to be like, oh my god, there's a push coming, especially since it was just 1. He's only got Pure Dragoon right now. He is getting leg speed, but he doesn't have it yet. And I think Mikami is likely to reinforce with all Vultures. Yes, he's going to reinforce with all Vultures, which is pretty nice. Tanks are being super fucking aggressive here, though, especially since they're on the low ground, but it looks like he's scared Fat Reaver, and he's got position now. Fat Reaver, by retreating, might have just cost himself the game. I mean, Mikami needs to reinforce Vultures, but to retreat here was not necessarily the move he wanted to make, but now he is trapped back in that choke. Tanks are sieging up, moving back. Actually, never mind. He's been able to sandwich with goons. This gives him a decent chance to break this. In fact, it's looking a lot better right now. If he can split these zealots and pick up the mines, he can definitely break this push here. Although the lack of obs might cause problems for him. Actually, never mind. The obs is there. So he does clean it up. A really nice flank there from Fat Reaver. I missed that. The Dragoons going over there and able to flank from both sides allows a very impressive hold. And now Mikami is probably a little bit more nervous about his position. The one thing he does have going similar to before is he is on a similar factory count, probably starting to float some resources now. Actually, no, not floating too many. He's probably started to, yeah, I was going to say. This means he's got to have started a CC. So that didn't work out quite as Mikami had planned, but I have to give Fat Reaver credit. That was a really good split. He got this lots in the middle eating the mines. I mean, it's hard to ask for a better engagement as a Protoss player. Maybe you could say he could have split the goons a little bit better and reacted a little quicker to the initial push, but that was a good hold, good clean hold from Fat Reaver. Now the downside is Fat Reaver doesn't have a third base, so he's not in an economically favored position yet. In fact, Mikami is going to be taking the advantage in that and still has the slightly superior economy overall, but there is a shuttle out here. So certainly the possibility for some slot bombs. Surely Fat Reaver can see that zealot, or that... There you go. Vulture wasn't shooting because it was on the low ground, couldn't see up the vision, didn't have vision of the high ground, but Protoss finally got close enough to shoot it. I think he got range. I hope he got range. He's got the Arbiter, getting a Forge, and the Arbiter Tribunal. We're still on 5 gateways. I do like the fast tech, basically a 2-base Arbiter, but I don't know, 1130, if you're really going to go for 2-base arbs, that's not a super fast Arbiter timing. I mean, if you're really playing like pure macro style, you can be at about 160 supply with an Arbiter out already at this time, and you can max about 1215, 1230, if you, assuming you don't do anything like ridiculous. But if you expand, you know, off 3 or 4 goons, and then again off 5 or 6 dragoons, you can get, you know, like I said, 160, 170 supply by this time with Arbiter. So not the fastest Arbiter for 2-base. And now he's going to start to clear a lot of mines. He doesn't want to use Zealots for this at this point. It is good that there are a lot of mines out. A little bit of a bold siege here by Mikami. He's down on the low ground with a pretty small number of tanks here against a Protoss working nicely off of 5 gateways. Now admittedly, Mikami's factory count is pretty high as well, so you wouldn't think this army would pose a huge threat. Nice ops coverage here, but Mikami will need to be careful. There's a lot more vultures there with the tanks, that's good. It looks like maybe he's thinking about pushing, which, I don't know. He's probably scanned the gateway count and he's thinking, Protoss has like 5-6 gateways, I can just go for it. But Protoss's army is somewhat scary. And his army, Mikami's army that is very exposed. I mean, there's a lot of room here for Protoss to come in and flank this, which could be really problematic. And actually, I don't know. This guy and his scouts, man, I don't know if he's just BMing the living daylights out of Mikami, or if this is actually something he thinks is good to do. But I don't see value in it. Scouts cost a shit ton, and like maybe they're going to kill 1 tank. And, oh man, Mikami running quite a few zealots into these dragoons here for Fat Reaver, who's bringing the rest of his army up, and with that next reinforcement of zealots, he may very well have enough to break this position. He's probably waiting for a tank or 2 to die, and then he's going to go for it, and Mikami needs to pull these reinforcements up onto the high ground for sure. At the same time, Fat Reaver doesn't really want to let Mikami establish this super solid position up here, because then Mikami can just slow push to his base in total comfort, which is really obnoxious. And the scout continuing to go rat-a-tat on those tanks, not really reducing the tank count though. Got another group of zealots, and is he going to go for it? It looks like he might be ready to pull the trigger. I would have liked to have seen him spread his army better. This is certainly not taking advantage of the flanking opportunities he had, so this attack might not be successful, although there sure need to be some reinforcing vultures here, or he's going to get crushed in this attack, especially with this shuttle to drop zealots. Sieging up these tanks, zealots are going to be all over these tanks, though, and there are no reinforcement vultures, and Mikami is taking a major hit right now. And honestly, there's not much at home. He is in danger of getting just walked over by Protoss if Fat Reaver continues his attack. He's just way too far out on the map with insufficient units. And now he's got a really hard hold coming up. He's going to need some incredible defense, although that's a good start if Fat Reaver just starts running in his slots with no control. He lost a lot to those mines. Shuttle's got to drop off that last zealot. He does have some zealot on the tanks. Dragoons trying to bust through. Will there be reinforcements? That's going to be important. If it's just Dragoons, Mikami can pull SCVs, wait for siege tanks, and claw on for dear life. But if the reinforcement zealots start rolling in, then there is no chance for him to hold. But it looks like Fat Reaver is not reinforcing. He's not going down the ramp right now. So there is a chance, at least, for Mikami to hold if reinforcement zones are coming. He's way too slow to move the CC, though. So he has definitely lost the natural CC, which is a nice victory for Fat Reaver. Not a complete victory, though, because let's remember the third base is still mining. And if he doesn't kill Mikami, 2-base to 2-base, still an okay position for Terran. Does finally have a probe over here at his third base. The one good thing, of course, Fat Reaver has some great tech, but we can see a lot of SCVs pulled, and he's going to try to snipe the tanks from the high ground, but that is really, really a questionable choice with those Dragoons. Even if they do have the high ground advantage, they're not going to get many shots off. The scout continuing to make a nuisance of itself, but not doing any significant damage, and oh boy, oh, that was close. He will eat a few of these mines as he comes across. No obs. Let's see how many of these he's going to eat. Actually, he might somehow get lucky. Okay, one mine goes off, second mine being dragged. That goes pretty favorable for him. And it looks like, oh, has he gotten a zealot in it? Oh, no, I heard something. But now I think he's going to swing around to the third. And if he swings around to the third and Mikami can't defend, that can certainly end the game. He's being a little bit stubborn about trying to bust into the main without reinforcements, but the third is dead. Mikami, how quickly can he react? Can he react quickly enough to save the CC? That is a maybe, but a probably not. He doesn't really have the army that he can afford to defend. Oh, he hasn't pulled the CC, no. So Mikami making some definite mistakes here, not pulling the CCs back fast enough. That's cost him CCs at both the main and a natural. So now the position for Mikami is really bad. He would need some seriously miracle vultures at this point. On 2 bases it was okay. One of these vultures should slip in, right? Both of them are actually going to get in. So we will have an opportunity for a little bit of harass. A lot of idle probes, though. The downside is that Arc Times is starting to mine out, but he has started this other base. And I don't know what this tank is doing. I think it's just having a moment. I think it's just having a moment. It is going to become a donation. Oh, it's rallied to where he had his stuff before. Which is good to do. I absolutely agree with re-rallying. However, the unfortunate part is it's re-rallied to an old rally point and not a nice new rally point. Now this I like. Mikami is getting right back up out of his natural, getting sieged up, and this time he sieged on the high ground in a more defensive position. It's a much better spot. Sitting up here, I mean, you could see in the prior attack, you know, Mikami just had no clue how many units Fat Reaver had. He was in the middle of the map for no real reason, and even without a flank, Fat Reaver just had enough units to 1A, 2A, 3A that, you know, had Fat Reaver flanked, he might have lost, you know, like 3 zealots and that's it. But now Mikami is back in a significantly better defensive position, in line with the fact that he has a much smaller, less powerful army. The one thing I don't like, though, is there's a lack of depots for sure protecting this base, which means that he could just send, like, you know, 6 slots up here and start running around, and Mikami really doesn't even have a ton of vultures yet, so it's not like he can just kill that. At the same time, Fat Reaver at the moment, I think, is, like, thinking in his head, I've done a lot of damage, I don't want to do anything crazy right now, I just want to defend my bases, let them mine. So he's kind of trying to consolidate that advantage, so he's just sitting with his army near his base. And possibly thinking about a recall as well. I don't know if he's actually researched it yet, but he's been kind of sitting around with this Arbiter with 200 energy for a little while. Oh, this is not a bad idea, especially if you can get the EMP on the vessel, which, well, he must have scanned this group and said, I can get this. And he does get off a nice EMP, so that's really nice. That'll drop that Arbiter's energy right down, but it looks like this Arbiter also having some decent energy as well, so still enough energy for a recall if he wants to. And Mikami, again, is moving out, and I don't really understand this decision once again. Like, when you have an army that's not max supply as Terran, especially with like 1-0 upgrades, why do you move out as 130 supply Terran against 170 Protoss? I mean, it's a big mistake. You know, unless Protoss makes... I mean, it's pretty bad. Protoss has made some mistakes to let Mikami get this far, and it is a big army for 120 supply, but it still shouldn't be that scary for Protoss, and honestly, it looks like Fat Reaver right now is thinking counter. Counters can certainly be dangerous, but the key is doing them right. If you just 1A, 2A, 3A, then it's not going to work good for you at all. But if you do take the time, patiently clear things out, it goes a lot better. And Mikami is opting for the defense route, and this could throw Fat Reaver off. He's not in a good position, and those are some very good EMPs. Oh my god, these Dragoons are going crazy, and this might just change the fate of the game for Mikami. This could be the throw of the century right now. I mean, these Zealots are clicked onto this one tank, not attacking. Everything about this attack is absolutely horrible, as we watch Mikami run over an army that he should not have even beaten. Although despite all of that, Mikami barely won. I mean, you can't have... He might not even hold this. You know, like I said, I mean, okay, it looks like he's not going to throw the game entirely. That was really close to being a throw, though. He is going to drive those tanks back. There's a slight chance this would be okay if these stasises unthaw and he can't clean them off, but it looks like he's just got enough that he'll be able to camp these and be fine. However, man, whew. I mean, but look at that. He, like, right-clicked his Zealots on a tank, he ran his Dragoons in, he didn't fight with 2/3 of his army, and Mikami almost lost that. Well, Mikami did lose that battle. Like, it was completely... There's no other way to say it, but it was a horrible decision to be out on the map. Let this be a lesson. If you're Terran, you pretty much, especially if you're playing for a third base or whatever, or you've lost some major attacks, you don't want to be on the map until you've got 200 supply. You know, if there's some timing, and if you scan and you're like, you know, 8 facts and he's got 4 gateways or something like that, maybe some exceptions, but your army just gets, you know, as Terran, it gets stronger the longer you wait, you know? So moving at 130 supply against 170 supply Protoss just doesn't make any sense. You know, I mean, it feels scary, although he's managed to get an army over here. I mean, you know, Fat Reaver's still doing his best to mess up this game. I think he can come down here and kill this army. Well, actually, I don't know. These Vultures are going to block pretty nicely if he can stasis the tanks, but he doesn't have enough energy. And actually, this attack, again, is working out for Mikami, as Fat Reaver's allowed him to get into a really nice position, and Mikami has found that ideal position right now. But again, there might just be too many units right here powering through. So Fat Reaver continuing to hold on these attacks. The base stays up. I don't know how many of the probes he saved. He's still got a lot of probes, so if he redistributes them, he's okay. And Mikami, though, fortunately, is mining from 2 bases, but he's very close to mining out. Of course, Fat Reaver is mined out. So this could turn into a rough game here. This could be the kind of game that Mikami ends up taking long-term, although sending in Vultures like that is not going to help his cause. He needs extremely good engagements at this point. Oh, actually, never mind. There's 2 bases. Mikami can't win this game. Or, okay, that's a little too strong, but I was watching this action way too much. Sorry about that, guys. Usually I'm a little bit better about that. But with a base down here, I think that's a little too much to ask, because Mikami's going to drive. I was going to say 1 base to 1 base. If Mikami took really clean engagements, he could absolutely come back, but 2 bases to 1, that's going to be pretty tough. And remember, I mean, Fat Reaver still has the huge army supply advantage. You know, Mikami's doing a lot of things nicely, getting some really good EMPs, some good attacks, those kind of things. But the general army size of Fat Reaver, I mean, Mikami is, again, he's 81 supply, pushing against 150 supply Terran, or 150 supply Protoss. Like, these pushes, I think it's kind of like, I'm desperate, but there's no reason for him to be pushing right now. Again, he's running the Zealots a little too aggressively on top of the tanks, sieging up now. Now, do these TIE Templars have storms? 1 or 2 storms can decimate this, but with these Dragoons all clumped up, there's a... Oh, he actually unsieges a few of these tanks, though, so the Dragoons will continue to bust through here. And that will finish off this army, leaving Mikami at about 50 supply. And looking at units, I mean, it doesn't look like he has much. He's going to have like 1 more attack. He's starting a CC down here. trying to hang on. He does still have some minerals, but let's face it, I mean, he's got 58 supply against the Protoss who's playing off of 2 mining bases. Although one of these bases is not defended, to say the least. He did get 2-0. I don't think he has 2-1, though. He's probably... Oh, he just can't even afford to upgrade. He's too gas-starved. I guess he scanned this. He's not even going to let this base finish, which is a really good decision, I think. But he's got to kill the SCV really quickly. It'd be better if he kills focused on the SCV. Okay, forces the cancel. That works. So now he's just kind of consolidating, and one of two things is going to happen. Makami's going to move out again, and his army's going to get crushed because it's way too small, or Makami's going to sit back and mine on one base, and with 2 bases to 1, Fat Reaver's going to make a giant army and just slam it down his throat, and or recall into the main, and just, or third. I mean, if he recalls the third, that's the end of Makami's economy. And yeah, I mean, Makami can't push, you know. I don't think there's any way that Fat Reaver could possibly die to this army. I mean, unless he just, like, you know, right-clicked some waypoints around the army so that just units walked around it. You know, I think any sort of A move will kill this army if he moves out. I guess he could try to harass. That would probably be his best chance. Set up a ridiculously defensive position, try to harass, and slowly build up enough army, turtle these bases, but it'd be a hell of a game for Makami to take from here. Definitely don't want to leave with Templars, though. Oh, man. I mean, I do kind of like that the front-ish of the army will allow them to get there, but if they're too far at the front, oh, that's really... Templar mind-dragging. Shit you can do when you're massively ahead. So he is running a few vultures around, which oh, actually, I mean, if you look at this, Makami could definitely go around with vultures and, like, kill most of the probes. And I think Fat Reaver is in one of those positions where he's either not quite sure, how do I end this? Or, gonna stop to pick off the Templar, or he's just not confident enough to go end this game. I'm a little surprised he hasn't gone for the third. There really should be an obs here, seeing what's up. I mean, he could absolutely pressure the third, force his army around, do all kinds of obnoxious things, but unfortunately, he is losing a lot of his mining here to these vultures, and Makami definitely making some good decisions to keep himself in the game. I mean, you know, with these bases not having cannons, you know, going and shutting down mining over here is pretty much the best you can ask for at this stage of the game. Dragoons will clear up these vultures, though, so a little unfortunate to lose them all, not chasing the probes, but I think he's also very worried about defending at home. He knows he has hardly any units, and now it looks like Fat Reaver is finally considering that option of swinging around to the third base, and of course that about halved his probe count. So he's going to have to reprobe here. He's still got a huge bank, though. Spending another wave of macro, not making probes. Here come the Zealots, eating a lot of mines, but again, there's no defense down here, so the third base, the SCVs are going to be forced to run, which means Makami's going to have 0 income, at least for a while, and he's actually going straight to snipe the CC. There's not a repair. The CC isn't moving. The CC is dead at this point, so that is going to be it for Makami's mining. So I don't know what he's going to do now. I guess he's going to sit and defend. I guess he's going to sit and defend here at home. I don't really know what other options he has at this point. I mean, you know, he actually has a huge bank. I don't know where that came from. He's not even, I don't know what he's focused on right now. I guess he's going to do one last push and then GG. I guess he's going to do one last push and then GG. Sending SCVs back to long distance mine with 2k minerals. There's kind of units all over the place here from Fat Reaver. This army is like set up for the most delicious flank ever. If this is coordinated right, this is going to be a lot of white from a fucking lot of angles. Oh my god, this is a nice flank, I think. Sometimes it looks good and doesn't actually turn out good, but there's a lot of Protoss shit here. I mean, there's so much Protoss shit, like, it doesn't matter how he attacks, Makami's army is dead. But there we go. The last army dies, and Fat Reaver's going to take this game 2-0. Somehow it goes on for way too much longer. What the fuck? What the fuck? What? Why is this game? Oh my god. Why is this even allowed to happen? These vultures, I mean, these vultures are shutting down mining. He's still mining off one. Are you fucking kidding me? What? You've got to be. This cannot be. Oh my god. I don't know whether to laugh or cry or what. Did Fat Reaver, is he actually gonna throw this game? From a triple supply advantage, is Mikami going to win this? No, wait, does he have a unit in there? I mean, he's still mining from these two bases, so I still don't think he can throw it, in spite of his very best efforts. How is this? Oh my gosh. Alright, we're still gonna proceed at somewhat of a high speed here. I don't know, is he legitimately gonna throw this game? I still don't think he can with two bases of income, but I mean, you want to talk, what the hell is going on down here? I don't know. Mikami's not noticing these SCVs, having to chase a single Dragoon around. Vultures continue to try to harass, but let's face it, I mean, there are still bases mining. Mikami's still at half supply. If he gets the second CC up and mining by some miracle of God, and Fat Reaver fails to do anything about it, it would just be, oh my gosh. He seems to know that it's going to come here, though. Well, yeah. Unfortunately, we do have a time crunch, and this game should have been over, so we do kind of have to go fast here. I mean, there was nothing epic about this game like 8 minutes ago, but Fat Reaver's doing his best to anti-epic it. Oh, this command center, fuck, he's going to lose it. Does not have SCVs there to repair. Alright, is this army gonna die now too? I mean, because let's face it, Mikami has mined out now. So this is like legit last army. Legit last army. Can Mikami, somehow, some way, Fat Reaver turns around. This is a pretty good mine clear though. Dragoon's dead. But he continues to reinforce. This army should be on the verge of dying. This CC is obviously down. He's trying to float this out here. Oh, two tanks out on the map. Man, I can't believe we're still watching. This game was over 10 minutes ago. And somehow it's not over. Now I think it's over, but I said that before. When Mikami had no money. Okay, he did have a 1.5k bank. And finally, GG. Oh man. Oh man. I mean, I gotta give props to Mikami. I mean, you know, I felt like he was taking too long to GG, and realistically he was, but I mean, he did a lot of good things there. He played the first half of the game pretty questionably, especially with some really poor decisions to come out on the map way too early with his army. But I mean, he did everything pretty well in the second half of the game, and Fat Reaver did pretty much everything not well. I mean, I honestly kind of have to see how he threw that engagement away just to see exactly what went wrong. I kind of need to know. Because I was skipping through it because I just assumed the game was over. You know, triple supply, no money, no bases mining, Protoss mining from two bases. Like, I don't know if I've ever seen a game like this. Honestly, this is like historical. Alright, so this push was the first turning point. And like, when you've had a timing push beat like that, you can't push. I don't know why Mikami tried that. Going here in the middle was so... Oh, why? Why? Protoss had so much shit. Alright, so we gotta go to about like 25 minutes or something. To see just how... I think it was like a bad recall or something, plus a bad attack, plus some other stuff. That was a really poor attack. This was a good attack from Mikami, but there was just too much shit. Okay, we watch this. Now, at some point he comes over here and kills this base. Shuts down that. Everything's fine here. Everything's all fine and dandy. Making a few more units, picking up a few vultures. Things are good. Okay, we have the super vulture harass, which did kill a fuck ton of probes. But now we come in here, we kill the third. The third is dead. Supply is like doubled. He's not mining. Oh yeah, and he suicides his army. And he suicides his army. He's not mining. Protoss flanks the shit out of him. Now he's down triple supply, close to triple supply, with no fucking minerals. Protoss is mining, well, yeah, he's mining off 2 bases. Mikami is not mining. And Protoss nearly loses. I kind of have to review these next few minutes to see what happened. What on earth did he do to get there? Like, how can you possibly lose from here? I mean, okay, he's distance mining. He's totally mined the fuck out. He's gonna float one of his CCs off at some point. He obviously goes over here to defend. Protoss is like 160 supply. He still doesn't have a CC. And Protoss is like 180 supply. What the... How does this go so wrong? What does he do? I mean, okay, Mikami's doing good things, for sure. But he's got 70 freaking supply. Does he just, like, give him way too much time to turtle this? Like, I'm trying... He runs back for 2 vultures with his entire army. I don't know why he's not attacking this base. So, I guess some of it was he gave Mikami time, but still, Mikami hasn't made that much stuff. I mean, he has taken it from triple supply to double supply, but... I mean, just frickin' stasis a few of these tanks and go kill him. But he just sits here and sits here. I don't know what he... I guess he wanted to be on 3 bases. Now he's on 3 bases. Now, how does this attack get so fucked up? Well, number one, he's attacking in a giant line. But still, how does he mess this up? Oh, he just doesn't run any slots down this way, I guess, and gets funneled to the choke, and has one of the worst attacks in Protoss history. And keeps trying to have the worst attack in Protoss history. He does hit some nice storms, but it's not actually enough to kill anything. And suddenly they're even supply again, except for the fact that Mikami's mine, or Fat Reaver's mining from 3 bases. So, in spite of his best efforts, he nearly loses the game. I don't even know what to say about that. Like, that was such a weird game. Like, Mikami, if I had to give grades, I would give like maybe a C- for the first half of that game, but then like a solid B+ for the rest of the game. And Fat Reaver goes from like a solid B+ to like, I mean, that's like as F as possible. Alright, well, after that painful but slightly interesting game, we will go into the third set. In the top left-hand corner, as the Blue Protoss, looking to redeem himself after struggling to take the win, doing his very best to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory, Fat Reaver. And in the bottom right-hand corner, as the Brown Terran, we have Mikami. And because those games took so long, we will go a little bit faster through the opening sequence, unless something crazy happens. But so far, we have normal play. And this time, it is not going to be a rack CC from Mikami. And it is going to be still the Zlot harass here from Fat Reaver. Although it looks like Mikami has succeeded in walling, and I believe this wall is tight to Zealots. So shouldn't really be able to do much here. Yeah, we can see. Not going to be able to get anything done. SCV going out to scout. And range on the way here for our hero Fat Reaver. So just doing a little bit of looking around and wisely making just 1 Zlot here. So this will be a pretty fast Nexus. Pretty fast Nexus, if he puts it down. I think he's waiting for just a few more minerals. Got that pylon on the way, so that's good. Not going to get his probe production shut down. It's always important, especially early on, errors in probe production really, really compound quickly. You never want to have that happen. Faust is always getting banned for caps by Nightbot. It's sad days. I'm sorry, I feel so bad for you, Faust. But I just can't stop the evil Nightbot. Alright, so one gateway. He's normally been playing pressure, but of course this is a different sort of a game. We got FD on the way here from Mikami. Should be a vulture. Oh, okay, strong FD. But if it's strong FD, he shouldn't be moving out this early. Maybe he thinks because the Protoss made his lot first and went for an expand to go for it. But I'd rather see him sit and wait for 2 tanks. Although if he picks off this Dragoon, okay, that is a really nice start. Let's see how aggressive. Oh, he's going. Okay, that's better. This could do some damage. This could do some serious damage. Oh, he's starting a bunker here. This is weird. Weird, but it's like it's gonna work too. He's only got 1 gateway. He's dead. This was too greedy. Usually you don't expand till after you have 3 Dragoons. But his harass didn't do anything. In fact, this lot hasn't done anything. And then he made it kind of a delayed Dragoon and cut Dragoons for a super fast Nexus. And Mikami is coming up here to punish the living daylights out of this. It is a very nice probe pull. He might want to think about going back and waiting for the 2nd tank, but remember, range is going to be delayed because he's been getting a significantly delayed core. That's why it's more common to get the core first rather than the lot first. But now there's 2 tanks here, and this is just way too much. So he's going to get forced back. Vulture should be rallied up on the way somewhere. In fact, here it is now. The bunker is not going to get anything inside of it unless the SCV hops out to repair, but he's got to be careful with the Dragoons. He wants to kill the bunker, but stopping to kill the bunker is the wrong decision because that ends the life of these Dragoons, and everything is getting run over, and it looks like Mikami is going to get his revenge at this point for that prior game because this is going to be a very difficult position to come back from. The natural Nexus will die. He does have 3 gateways. Does he have a robo? He doesn't have a robo, so there's nothing he can do about the mines. He's going to be stuck up here for ages and ages. I mean, he can try to run Dragoons down and absorb the mines, but if Mikami just keeps rallying Vultures in here and laying mines, it's very unlikely that the Dragoons will even get down. Oh, that was actually a nice attempt here. I don't know why these probes are coming down. They need to run away. Okay, he does realize that and will pull them back. And now I guess Mikami's just going to move back here a little bit, kill these pylons off, which is going to be a little bit annoying. Will cost some additional minerals. He's not reinforcing with these vultures. He actually laid mines just in case of DTs. Looks like he's got the transfer coming down now, making another tank. And oh, he hasn't laid any more mines though, which is going to be really nice for Fat Reaver. I thought he was just going to keep him contained in his natural. It's definitely an option in this kind of situation. If you guys find yourself in this situation, your siege mode is done especially, just rally vultures in, lay mines at the ramp, siege up, and you can make it take so long for Protoss to be able to come down. Especially in a situation like this where he's gone for incredibly late robo. You know, but now with these Dragoons, if he's feeling bold, he can try to walk forward if he doesn't think there's any mines here and retake his Nexus. As opposed to being able to delay it for a couple more minutes. But I guess this is also a safe way to play. You know, he doesn't know for sure there's not a Reaver or whatnot on the way. Especially given that all he saw was really low Dragoon count. You know, he might be like, And also with the delayed core and thus delayed range, you know, put all that together and it might have been enough to have Mikami thinking DT or Reaver, because I mean, let's face it, he did mine up his front. He did bring a lot of stuff back. He played that kind of nervous, I would say. But it is just 3 gateways. Robo, probably Observatory. Yeah, Observatory. So again, this is going to be some super late obs. That is probably the biggest thing I would say that I'm a little bit critical of in Fat Reaver's openings. Possibly a little bit too late of a core, but if you play them really aggressively like he did, I think it's okay. To play a late core like this and try to expand, I think is asking a lot. But the late robo is it's just rough. You just don't have a solution to mines, and you also just don't have a clue what Terran's doing. You can't formulate a good game plan. You know, I don't think you need to rush robo out like, you know, immediately. But I mean, Mikami or Fat Reaver's routinely getting 3-4 gateways and making quite a few rounds of units before he makes robo. He's making like, you know, 50-60 supply robo a lot of the time. So his Nexus is almost remade, but let's face it, Mikami's already mined, you know, what is that, 1.4k, 1.5k more minerals, 200 per patch, 6 or 7 patch, 7 or 8 patches, and he's got 5 facts, so it's, you know, with just 3 gates and no tech and no shuttle on the way, I have a strong feeling that Mikami is just going to come up here and roll over him with this 5-fact push. If it's well executed, it's going to be next to impossible for Fat Reaver to defend. Maybe if he, and see, this is what I mean, you know, if he absolutely knew this was coming, if he had an obs down here, which absolutely by 9 minutes you should, he would at least know 5 facts on the way. He could be thinking about shuttle, he could be thinking about some of those things, but without the obs, you know, he has to guess, and he's making the absolute. Well, maybe he's not. I don't know if he's actually intending to expand. Oh, he's got to be so careful. Yeah, he's intending to expand. Oh, no, actually, maybe not. I don't know. I mean, it looks like it with the Dragoons positioned over there. It looks like he's thinking about it at the very least. Yeah, is he gonna hold that on the ramp? Yeah, although I don't know if that's quite gonna be tight. But here we go. Makami's moving out, and you can see how little of this Fat Reaver's gonna see. In fact, he's not gonna see it at all. Ooh, let's see what he sees. Is he gonna catch a sight of it? He's gonna catch it up here, but that is gonna be a little bit late. He's not gonna see any of the army on the backside though. So yeah, here comes the big push from Makami, and unfortunately, he's still on just 3 gateways. He's making a few zealots, which without a shuttle are going to be next to useless, and Makami is just allowed to walk up right to the front door. I mean, this is everything you don't want. Because the obs were so late, he couldn't even be out on the map to slow this push down. So Makami's just been allowed to 5-fact from an advantage right up to the front door of Fat Reaver. Fat Reaver, I do very much like that he split these Dragoons out. If they were stuck in the natural, he'd be like 99.9% dead. Now he's just like, I don't know, in real trouble as opposed to like for certain doomed. But it's going to be really difficult to get anything done at this point. There's a huge minefield up here. The Dragoons can't clear that out fast. The tanks can start to leapfrog up. He's actually sieging the natural nexus right now, which means it's about to be 1 base against 2. And I mean, he's maybe going to get a good flank here. Can he get a good enough flank to break this? Oh, if he had slots in the shuttle, he'd have an outside shot at it. But unfortunately, these Dragoons are not spread well enough, not getting on top of the tanks, and that means that Makami will succeed here. Gonna unsiege everything real quick, and there's the GG from Fat Reaver, knowing he just doesn't have enough stuff to stop Makami's push. And Makami takes a 2-1 victory over Fat Reaver, and satisfyingly continues to kill his bases. So now we will go into Probua against Hafnium, and we'll have to see how this series goes. Hafnium has shown himself to be one of the stronger players in this league, and Probua, I believe, is a C- Protoss, so we should have a decent match. So in the top right-hand corner, spawning as the orange Protoss, we have Hardtail, otherwise known as Hafnium. And in the bottom left-hand corner, as the red Protoss, we have Probua. Do I have good colors? No, I have... Well, guess we're stuck with slightly similar colors. It might be a little hard to tell what's happening in the middle of the battles. So we'll see. I know Hafnium said he wasn't feeling particularly well for these games, so we'll see if that affects him at all. I would certainly say Hafnium would have to be my favorite player, although I will say that Probua is one of the players that I've seen some definite improvement from, some clear improvement from throughout this league. He clearly strikes me as one of the players that's been really trying to take advantage of the opportunities afforded and practice quite a bit. And, oh, that's a very early scout. So we have a pylon scout here from Probua. Hardtail asking, is the latency okay? Probua says yes. And Gateway, Hafnium's Gateway should be a smidge faster, given the early scout from Probua. Yeah, we can see that makes just a little bit of difference in Gateway timing. And no base. I will say, as a general rule of thumb, if you're not planning anything aggressive or whatever, and you're just doing kind of a quote-unquote safe build, scouting this fast in PvP is usually not worth it. You won't usually see anything super telling in PvP, and you're definitely sacrificing some economy to scout that quickly. You do pretty much guarantee your scout will get in, but honestly, if you're just doing kind of a safe build, then usually you're sort of fine whatever the other person's doing. And obviously, if it's 2-gate, you'll scout it and know about it. And of course, he's not scouting through the center, so it's not like you'd find a proxy gate. Faust is back from the dead. I removed the caps lock and shift key. Drastic measures. Drastic measures to solve the problem of the oppressor Nightbot, who is just crushing Faust's hopes and dreams. So we have some scouting going on, and we're about to have some more scouting going on. The Zealot will have a hard time blocking the probe off. Ramp is a little bit wider here on CB. And here comes the probe. Let's see if he can get the Zealot in the right spot. Nope. I don't even know if it's possible on this map. It doesn't have a nice crease either to help guide you. Oh, we have 2-gate. I didn't even realize that. Hardtail, 2-gating, but it's cross map. And it looks like it's going to be Zlot, core Zlot. So should be reasonably good for defending. There won't be this overwhelming Zlot advantage here for Hardtail, and then some Dragoons come out. So I don't think Probo will have a particularly hard time with this. He will have to get his Zealots over the ramp though. Might have a brief period where there's 2 Dragoon or 2 Zlots against 3. In fact, it looks like there will be. So he'll have to be careful with the micro early on. If he loses Zlots and doesn't weaken Hardtail's Zealots, it's going to take 1 Dragoon a long time to kill them, which means it gets really hard to defend with probes in the mineral line, especially if 1 Zlot gets split off. So it's really just about buying time and not trading poorly here for Probua. You know, if he gets that Dragoon out to the ramp, can soften up all 3 before they get in, this will be not too hard to hold. But let's keep in mind he has stayed, well, he's building a 2nd gate. So far the micro is pretty good from Probua though. It looks like he's actually going to pick 1 Zealot off straight up, and actually he's going to pick off 2, so this is great from Probua. Massively well handled. In fact, I don't even think Hardtail is going to make his way up the ramp. And that was good control. Nothing really to criticize there from Probua. It's tricky to get up a ramp, you know. But he microed everything very nicely, always taking 2 hits, pulling back the wounded Zealots, definitely getting the better of Hafnium in that exchange. Although, let's note there is a pylon in the base. I guess he's been watching some of, who's the Protoss player that likes to do this? Jordaddy's games. Jordaddy's always trying to build this pylon and 1 gateway. I don't know what the plan is with this pylon, if it is to add a gateway. Well, it's going to be in Vision, I think. Oh, man. I always think it's going to be in Vision, and it's never not quite. Oh, Jesus. But there's going to be Dragoons out. If he could somehow kill the Dragoons, but man, he's going to have a hard time getting enough pylons to really cause problems. He's made a lot of Zealots, though. And honestly, he's got to be careful with where he micros his Zealots, because if he forces the Dragoons back too far, he'll actually allow them to see the cannons. Now, we have a major probe drill coming here, trying to defend the Dragoons. I can't decide. It looks like now it's working out, but initially I wasn't so sure about it. This is actually really nice defense so far from Probo, but there are a lot of Zealots running around. He is trying to soften them. What he wants to do right now is drop their numbers a few while keeping his Dragoon numbers up, and if he does that, he's going to be just fine. There's a good one. But again, Zealots are continuing to be streamed across from Hafnium, who's going all in with the aggression on this game. We can see no expansion, no gas from Hardtail's base. And it is just a matter of keeping Dragoons alive. He's almost got that critical mass. If he can get these Zealots around, get these last few Zealots down, he's going to be okay. But man, I think he's got 3 gates. No, he's got just 2 gates. But these cannons are now going up. And this is quite the cannon field here in this bottom base for Hafnium. But it looks like the Dragoon count is getting high enough now. And he's just got to keep from losing them, especially this weakened one. You know, if you get 3 or 4 Dragoons against 2 or 3 Zealots, then you're in great shape. And now he's going to be thinking, oh my god, what is happening? Starting to freak out as way too much is going on. Zealots are still being streamed in, but will he have the Dragoon count to muscle these down? This Dragoon should not be doing this. There we go. He does notice it. And Probua continues to play a very calm, cool, collected game. I am really impressed from this play. You don't usually see this kind of calm, collected play from someone at C-. You know, it's usually a little bit easier to be the aggressor, but to handle all this stuff nicely. Now it's just a matter of he needs to position his goons here, stop additional cannons, and he's going to totally hold this off without any worry. He's going to lose his power on the robotics facility, which means no Reaver to defend this. But he's just got to position his goons. He'll shoot the same range as cannons, so it's not really going to be possible for Hardtail to cannon push him. So he's just got to sit and mass up Dragoons and not let Hardtail continue to build forward cannons. But of course, Zealots are continuing to come into the base, which is making things really annoying for Probua. And I think he's going to defend this just fine, but he's got to watch this kind of stuff. Well, an extra cannon back here is not a problem. He would really like to build up this Dragoon mass. It looks like he's doing that. Okay, this Zealot's going to go down. And now continued Zealots sent in from Hafnium are not going to do much. He's just got to prevent additional forward... Oh, that's actually a big deal. Should queue up a Dragoon or 2. Oh, he doesn't do it, though. So now he's lost his core, and that's a bit of a big deal. He's going to just try to murder down these first few cannons. I hope he doesn't overextend and go for all the cannons, though, because that is going for way too much. Also, he can target down the probe. Oh, that was also a mistake, I would say, from Hardtail. He would have liked to have kept pushing with those cannons, but he's going to be unable to do so. He's got to be really careful with these Dragoons, though. I mean, remember, he cannot make Dragoons right now. He's forced into making Zealots. So I don't think he wants to waste Dragoons on the cannons at this point. And look at this. In the meantime, of course, he's built a gateway up here of his own. Managed to get a probe in there. He's like, all right, you're going to be a cheesy mofo with me? I'll show you that two can play at this game. This was so close to working, though. But if he would have been able to start the cannons forward earlier or kept the Dragoons occupied longer, that could have been successful. But Probo's defense was just really, really solid. And honestly, you know, Goons first slots, there's a lot less you can do with slots to force a successful engagement than you can with Dragoon Micro. So, I mean, you know, Probo, I guess you could say, sort of had the ability to defend, and he just did a very, very nice job of it. And now here come some awkward slots, which are actually incredibly awkward because there's no Zealots back here right now for Hardtail. Oh, there's one. But he's losing some probes, and he doesn't exactly have a high probe count to begin with, although neither does Probo. Let's see how much he can even up the economy here. Right now, again, Probo is showing some very good control. Continue running with his Zealots. There are 3 or 4 Zealots in the base here for Hafnium, so he should be able to defend this now with the larger numbers without too many losses. It's just a matter of being efficient with his probes, not over-pulling, not getting sloppy, and having a Zealot dive into the minerals and do some serious damage. And of course, everything should be pretty secure in this base. The forge going back up. That's a nice little probe pull there. Obviously going to delay mining, but keeping any probes from dying is good at this point. Proboa not probing up, though. He's definitely intending to just make Dragoons and go for a big bust on Hafnium's base, which will be definitely a concern. He's going to need to recognize this might be coming and build a lot of cannons. He'll probably need 4 to 6 cannons to hold this off. Oh, little overtaxed on the micro. Dragoons coming down here to pick off this pylon. I guess that's all right. I think this will still be powered. Yeah, just in range. Oh, that's a nice drill. Oh, he's gonna lose a probe though. Gonna lose a probe. Finally, the gateway's unpowered, but you know it's still alive. Funny enough, that probe. All right, so 2 cannons is not gonna cut it against this. Well, actually, if you waste all these Dragoons on this is stupid. Don't kill these cannons. Just go kill him. Because here's the thing. This is like 10 Dragoons. He's got a lot of Zealots, but all the Zealots can do is kind of, I don't know, dance around the cannons and prevent the Goons from just mercilessly wrecking on top of them. But if you don't have a good wall of cannons, you know, even if you've got 8 Zealots sitting out here, the Dragoons will just walk on top, absorb a few Zealot hits, kill a cannon or 2, and then back off and just break through that defense in no time. So, like, right now, 100% Probo can kill him if he wants. I would say at a minimum, it's kind of like dealing with a Hydra bust, right? Like, you know, even if you have 5 or 6 cannons and 4 Zealots, you know, a group of 12 to 15 Hydras can bust you. And these are like, sort of like Hydras for obvious reasons. Now he's going to see a boatload of Dragoons. Let's see if he responds with, holy moly, I need cannons now. Because if he doesn't need cannons now, and he doesn't have DTs or something on the way, he is... Oh, he's actually getting Dragoons. Oh, this is going to be close. But he's not going to have range. These Dragoons are going to be a little bit better for defending. He does have a lot of gateways. He definitely has the better economy. If Proboa doesn't kill him, Proboa is going to die. But Proboa still has this really nice window to kill him. And given the micro we've seen so far, I am deeply worried for Hafnium. I kind of like this decision to flank. If that's what he's doing. Maybe he's looking to sneak around. Oh, this is not being well enough managed. But the Zealots are out of position. This is just going to be flat out walking over. Needs probe pulls, needs lots moving in, needs something, but nothing right now is happening. Cannons are going up awfully late. Here's the probe pull. He sent the Zealots for vision. That was actually a pretty good decision if that's what he did. But everything is going down, and there's just not going to be enough units. Reinforcements streaming across the map here for Proboa. Range is not done. Now the probe counts are being lessened. There's just 1 cannon left to go down. That cannon is devoured, and the chances of Hardtail holding this are very low at this point. He's out of probes at the natural. He's only got 1 Dragoon, and GG is said. Proboa with a very nicely played game to take a 1-0 lead on Hafnium. That was a pretty entertaining PvP, not gonna lie. So, we will go into Game 2 of Hafnium against his Proboa. On Destination, Hafnium is selected. So let's see if he has something aggressive in mind. Nope. He's built a pylon in there. Anti-mana pylon. And this time it is Probo who is going to return the 2-gate favor. Destination, obviously you're going to find your opponent right away. You know it's not the super long rush distance. And in response, Hardtail going to throw down a second gateway as well before his core. So he's basically going to do a delayed 2-gate and just play things really safe here against Proboa. So Proboa really shouldn't be able to do anything with his Zealot harassment. Does have a mana pylon here in the mineral line of Proboa, being a little bit obnoxious. And now let's see, what is the core timing for both players? Definitely quite a bit faster here for Hafnium. Now Hafnium goes up the ramp. Let's see if he can get a good engagement. Difficult to do going up the ramp. Pretty easy to take 2 Zealots to target onto your 1 Zealot. Especially if well positioned. Oh, it's Happy Bunny time. What's up? Oh, this probe is... it's going to get murdered. Too deep in the mineral line. It's going to get drilled. So, scouts are out of each other's bases, I think. Unless I'm not seeing something. And early pressure is deflected. Robo for Hardtail. 2-gate Robo. Core finishing up now for Proboa. Should see 2 Dragoons start here, unless he wants a really fast range. Oh, he's pylons. He's waiting on pylons. I hope he's got a pylon building. Okay, he's got a pylon building. I think he wants a Nexus. Looks like he wants a Nexus. 2 gates into Nexus. He's gonna have to crawl Reaver. That would definitely give Hardtail. If Hardtail goes straight for Reaver with Shuttle, he'll definitely have a window where he could try to be aggressive, although this is an interesting situation. Destination, obviously, double bridges, right? Narrow as fuck, pretty long. So on the one hand, like, Crawl Reaver is a very strong defense for Proboa, but on the flip side, if Hardtail Hafnium just posts up here with Crawl Reavers, getting out across the bridges is a freaking nightmare. So he's just kind of got to be cognizant of these minerals, and you can do a contain and then rapidly expand to your 3rd to get back in it, since he'll have the slower Nexus. So there are definitely some options here if he decides to go Reaver, which... Whoa! Is this intentional? This is gonna get wild. This is gonna get wild. This is gonna get wild. Double Robos. Double Robo Super Harass of Doom or some shit. I don't even know, man. Robo Support Day in the friggin' mineral line. This is a weird place for a Robo Support. Oh, it's mannering the shit out of his... Is it? Maybe this one guy just got unlucky. I gotta see this mining path. Maybe this actually is gonna make things run reasonably well. I don't know. I can't tell. That certainly doesn't hurt mining significantly, and there's a slim chance it actually optimizes it. Cool. Cool. Nice work there, Hafnium. That's a nice little position you found. All right, we're going to have a little engagement out here on the map. We got, what, 5 slots against way the hell a lot more slots, but also some Dragoons. He's got to be careful with the micro here. His Zealots are going to go down really fast. Yeah, his Zealots are dying pretty quickly. He needs to back up with the Dragoons, wait for a couple more, but it looks like it's going to be pure lot pressure right now here from Proboa. So it's going to be about the Goon micro for Hafnium, who needs to not lose these Dragoons. Alright, there we go. He's going to back Probo up. In the meantime, let's see what is Probo up to. He's actually going to get, he's going to go for 4 gateways and speed. Oh, this is going to get really interesting. Hardtail's mining out the back. He's got this double Rovo, double Reaver. Wants really fast Reavers. This is going to get really interesting, though. But he's going for speed lots. This is going to be wild. You don't usually see this. Reavers definitely can defend speed lots. Particularly if you make a nice setup. If you really want to be obnoxious and you're really worried, you can actually kind of pylon your natural up and try to stick some Dragoons in the holes and have the Reavers behind the little gaps in the pylons. Have like Dragoons blocking the gaps and the Reavers back there, and it'll just shred like a slot, some fast slots. But if he just shows up with a bunch of speed lots, which he's got a bunch of speed lots right now when the Reaver's away, it's going to do a lot of damage. It's going to do a lot of damage. Hey, it's Zero. What's up, man? One day, man. One day I'll be close to your level. If I ever get the time to play enough Brood War. Is he getting shuttle speed? He better be getting shuttle speed with 2 Reavers. Oh, why is it so slow? He wanted the 2 Reavers really fast, I think. So this is going to be scary, because there's a bunch of slots with speed right now, and this is a slow Protoss army. Oh, does he know? Alright, so this is going to be a really interesting situation. It's on the one hand, it's really hard to defend a Reaver. Oh, wow. Nice reactions from Proboa. Good lord. He does eat the Scarab, though. The Probes have a little trouble running away. But are we going to see a counter? No, he's actually going to come back and defend, which is probably not the best. if you just leave the 2 Reavers down and just let them soften up these slots, like this can definitely be well done here from Hardtail. Can drop this, especially once shuttle speed is done. But right now he's got to fly away. But there's certainly some potential here to do quite a bit of... Oh my gosh, if either of these Scarabs go off. But it looks like both of them are going to dud. Ramps imba. Ramps and drills imbalanced. So unfortunately he hasn't gotten anything done yet, which is not... Well, he's killed 5 or 6 probes, but 25 probes... Actually, what the hell? Maybe Probua hasn't been living up to his namesake. I mean, he lost 5 or 6, but he should not be behind Hardtail in probe count. With double Nexus for that much longer than Hardtail, that's sloppy. Oh dear. Okay. Okay. But... Oh, that's so much shuttle. This is gonna get... Oh, he's got obs with the army. This is gonna get weird as fuck. It's gonna be one of those games where both players are like attacking around each other. Like, if Hardtail defends, his army's way better, but out in the open, like, you need some good micro. I mean, if Hardtail has Class A micro, you know, he's gonna cause huge problems here for Probua, who I guess is having to run all his probes away. He should have speed done now. And of course, he's completely out of position, which is something he should know. I mean, you know, if there's that many Reavers on the map, let's see, he's dropping the Reavers. Here we go. Oh, Scarabs everywhere. Oh, don't lose the shuttle with the Reavers in it. But he's gotten the Reavers dropped. He's gonna lose all of the Reavers. They're gonna get a few shots. No, they're not even gonna get any shots off. Oh my god, this is a Reaver disaster of epic proportions. That was not what Hardtail wanted. That just ended really badly. Although he really did do a lot of damage to the economy. The DT, he blocked the DT too, which is pretty nice. So he's not gonna get his own economy too messed up. But he might be about to just die because, I mean, remember, there's speedlots and dragoons. And even if he doesn't die, I don't know, this is a weird situation. Like, the economy is obviously shot from Probua, but at the same time, Probua does have 2 Nexuses and a really, really scary army. So, I mean, if he just sits, he can catch back up, especially since, I mean, he's probably mined out half his minerals by now, more than that. So, obviously, the Nexus is going to need to be canceled. Watching those minerals. Cancel, 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 cancel. Did we cancel? Oh, yeah, we might have. Might have, but this is... No, I don't know if it can bust him up the ramp. This is pretty ballsy. Oh, what? What? Oh, no! Oh, my gosh. This is so not good. Maybe he just knew there was an attack at the front and brought this back, but the DT is going to... the DT is actually not going to... that's a bummer. Could have lost, like, every single probe to that DT. The Reaver is being worth its weight in gold, though, and helping him defend. He's trying to hold. He's going for the Reaver. But it looks like there still are too many units. The DT is still alive. Of course, that can be killed kind of at any moment, but it is just going to town on the probes, and it looks like Probua is getting the damage he needs done, and Hardtail forced to say GG. And it says, GG, I suck. That was a pretty... Those are both 2 entertaining games, though. If he wouldn't have lost those Reavers, though, he would probably win that game. Like, at that point, when it was down to 4 probes, if you just expand... get your own Nexus up. I mean, yeah, he's going to reprobe, but at worst, you're going to be on equal economy, and you're going to have like 4 Reavers against this no-tech army, and it's just going to be intimidating. But yeah, those games are both interesting. They were both interesting. And now we're going to have top left corner as the Teal Terran, Scaramanga, and in the bottom right hand corner as the Yellow Zerg we have Snowfruit. So yeah, Scaramanga we haven't seen much of. I think he's around D+, maybe close to C- Terran. And Snowfruit is a hardworking shield battery Zerg player that I believe is also around C-. I would say from what I've seen and what I think I've heard, from what I've seen from Snowfruit and what I think I've heard about Scaramanga, I would say Snowfruit is the marginally favored player here, but of course it's also ZVT, and I don't know how Snowfruit fancies his different matchups, but this is not good. This is not good, but he only loses 2 and then does pull back. Nice blocking there from Scaramanga, though. Will suffer no fears from said overpull, and this is Circuit Breaker, where this hatchery always looks fucking out of place. Is this even right? This might actually be low. I can never tell. Maybe the hatchery's supposed to be here. It definitely doesn't get like up in the minerals, but this could be a hex low. This map, man. I'll have to wait till he builds his gas, unless somebody just definitively knows. I mean, Circuit Breaker, the hatches look low on Circuit Breaker. Oh, he's got to run these. Okay, good reaction there. But does he know? Is this right? He's getting 3 hatches. He's getting his lair. It looks pretty standard at this point. Command Center coming out from Scaramanga. Yeah, everyone looks like they're playing a pretty standard TVZ at this point. Wings coming up to the front for Snowfruit, which is nice. Gonna go poke the SCV maybe. Is he gonna lose a lane? Nice. Delays the bunker a little bit. Yeah, see, people saying it's fine. To me, that looks so not fine. If it actually is fine, yeah, it drives me crazy. I have a problem. I mean, I play Zerg, and when I play on this map, I'm always freaking my own self out. So looking at that timing, we are going to see 3-hatch lurker opening here from Snowfruit, which I think has been his general modus operandi more often than not. Not quite as comfortable going Mutalisks. And at lower levels, I think 3-hatch lurker tends to work pretty well against 5 racks plus 1. As you get a little bit better, I think it works less effectively. I mean, you can always make it work to some extent, but good Terrans can do a lot against you with that many Marines out on the map. And I'm going to go pick off a few lings here at the front, maybe force a creep or 2. There's 1 creep. Nice job. Drones quickly off the patch. So far, Snowfruit looking quite solid. Dropping a few sunks. 3 this early seems like a little bit overkill. I mean, he saw with a ling there's no medics with that group. Realistically, you only need 1, so... Scaramanga being very bold, though. Gonna come all the way across here. Is he gonna morph this? Please don't morph. Oh, Snowfruit, that's overkill. Alright. Not the end of the world, but realistically, he only needed to morph 1 of those. Would have been more than sufficient. And of course, now Scaramanga's gonna be like, oh yeah, victory, boy. Does kill the scouting SCV. Lurker on the way. Gonna start throwing up those Varaxes. +1, about halfway. Hope we got... Okay, we got stem. We're getting range. Just a smidge slow, but would still be there in front of most Muta timings. Generally, it's going to be harder to get Muta out faster than about 6:45 if you're playing 3-hatch Muta. Scan says something about 6-minute Muta timing, but I think that's got to be like your Muta start making at 6 minutes, because I never see anybody getting down a Spire faster than about 4:45, 4:50, and I think Spire build time's around 1 minute. Now, obviously, 2-hatch Muta you can get a hell of a lot faster, and especially if you 12-pull 2-hatch Muta, but that's a totally different ballgame. And we're going to have a very fast Queen's Nest. Here he's got the drone in position to take the base. And scouting up with the Overlord. Double bunkers at the front, I guess in fear of the initial lurkers. Now, the one thing I would like to see is I would like to see him start to get out on the map, because if you just sit back and let the lurkers contain you, then there's nothing you can do. You just have to sit there and wait for your tanks to get out and your vessels, so you just let Zerg do whatever he wants until that point. And with this fast of a hive, there's this danger of just sitting back too long. Well, he's actually, never mind, he's only opted for 3 racks, perhaps in response to the lurker, so that I do like from Scaramanga. Especially at these levels, just going for the 3 racks and then putting down the factory and the starport like this, because it will give him a much more reasonable vessel timing. He's not going to have this awkward situation where he's like, oh, shoot, I'm contained, I can't break out, and Zerg almost has swarm. Oh, well, SCV's going to find the base, which is always nice, but realistically, there's nothing you can do against that base. Well, assuming there's 1 more lurker coming. 1 lurker's not enough. It might be enough to scare Scaramanga, and Scaramanga might not feel confident moving out against lurkers, but there absolutely needs to be a 2nd lurker over here, because you can just run up the ramp against 1 lurker. And here we go. We have a few moving around. But he needs 1 more over here, man. I don't know if Scaramanga will scan and realize this. And I guess another thing, too, that's, I guess you could say kind of, quote-unquote, meta, as he picks off this Overlord over here, is it's common now, especially to protect against vessels and other things, to take 2 or 3 lurkers and burrow them right on top of each other. This I don't particularly love, but alright. So even if he scans and sees 1 lurker, sometimes that can be 2 or 3 sitting under there. But I don't know what this is. Hold lurkers? This is like the world's biggest fucking hold lurker I've ever seen. I hope to God that's what this is. Oh no! Come on, hold lurker. I thought we were gonna see like the coolest, most ridiculous hold lurker I've ever seen in my life. Just like put entire map on hold lurker. But this spread out, like these lurkers can be really easily picked off here. Perhaps he's trying to pull him back into these lurkers, but he needs to get a really good bait to pull it off, and he goes for it, but he doesn't quite get the... Actually, he's walking on top of it though. And now he's burrowing here, but these should get surrounded. More lurkers running in. With good micro, Scaramanga should take this pretty comfortably, but the micro not super good from Scaramanga. Not bad, but now he's running out of scans and is going to lose most of these Marine Medic, and this bizarre lurker positioning here from Snowfruit seems to get the job done. Who is, man, this is really aggressive play from Snowfruit. I like it, especially since he just killed this group, but woo! Getting a... that took a while to make that hive. That Queen's Nest has been done for a long time. So not going to have the fastest hive in spite of everything. So might still face a little bit of a window here against first vessel, which should be... Oh, wow, he's going to go drop right away. Is he leaving anything at home? Not much. So Scaramanga's being greedy, or sorry, Snowfruit's being greedy / aggressive with his expanding, and Scaramanga's being greedy with how many units he takes out of his base. Looks like he's going to fly over this, heading straight to the third base. These are creep colonies, though, so these will not be here. It's going to be a question of can the Lurkerling get in position in time, or this. This is not a bad decision. There are 2 tanks here. Now, if he throws these Marines into the bunkers and scans quickly, I think he'll be okay against the counterattack here. But he's got to target the one sun colony down. He just wants the hatchery, though. He's going for it right now. And there's not a medic here. So if he gets back fast enough, he might just be able to stop this. I think he's going to save his hatchery without a medic here. Throw 1 medic in that. So this is definitely a win for Snowfruit. Even if the dropship does get away. You know, trading Marines for 2/3 of a hatch health, not very good trade. Should have a vessel about... Actually, no, he didn't start making the vessel. He's taking a 3rd over on the far base, trying to greed his way back into this now as well. So both players kind of trying to greed each other, but this is really greedy at this point. Like, he's lost enough now that there's just no way he can stop this, I don't think. Is he going to fly right over his stuff? No. Are there Scourge out yet? No. There will be soon-ish, but these are just some Hydra. Is there a medic in this dropship? Okay, there is a medic this time, which is good. Which means if 7 Marines get behind here, these Hydra by themselves, with those lings, they should be able to clean up a drop if it's microed decently. And interestingly, I noticed we have a queen. I'm not quite sure what his plan is. Alright, here we go. We're dropping behind the minerals. This is good. Nah, I don't like splitting this up quite as much. We'll see if it works. He's running drones here. Now running into the main, but of course Zerg army on top of this, and the drones are being run all around. Nice running from Snowfruit. Notice that. He ran... It's a weird time to morph lurkers, but alright. But he ran the drones into the corner, which was smart, because there are 2 drones back here, or 2 Marines back here that could be killing drones if he didn't. But it looks like this drop is causing so much problems that he's sending his army back. Now, why he's sending his entire army back, I don't know, and I don't think that's great. But his drone running here is fine. And especially since these lurkers are now about to finish. And obviously Scaramanga paying quite a bit of attention to this drop. Now he maybe wants to defile their den, but I don't know. There's a lot of links coming back in. He might get another drone or 2, but should be able to clean this all up here shortly. Just a couple links behind the minerals. Oh, don't send all your army back. So Snowfruit mostly defending really nicely, but sending the entire army back, and especially running it all back into the main. Super overkill here. These Marines are like on a rampage, being a little bit forgotten right now, especially with a second drop going down here. Now he's going to come back and make this drop pay for itself. With the medic, he will be able to get the hatchery. So Snowfruit starting to run into some difficulties here. These Marines able to get a few extra kills, but still from a base count position, Snowfruit's still alright, although critically, he doesn't have that 3rd gas. He needs to definitely put a gas down here at natural and get that 3rd gas up. He does have his defiler den though. Hopefully he has consume. Still not sure what this queen is for. 1 queen by itself is almost surely not for super fast early single broodling, unless this is a new meta Snowfruit's trying to develop for dealing with the 1 vessel 3 tank push. This is an interesting army from Scaramanga. He's certainly made a lot of tanks. And Marine tank does pretty good against Lurkerling in most situations. Now, if there's Dark Swarm, this many tanks just gets not that great because you just swarm and run under them and burrow and, you know, doesn't do a whole lot. But I don't see defilers right now. And I don't see, well, I don't know about consume. Is there a vessel? Okay, there's a vessel with this. So this is kind of scary. He's going to need a flank to deal with this, especially since he doesn't seem to be making defilers anywhere. There's Hydralisk. There's not going to be... He's made a defiler mound, but he's not going to be defending this with defilers. So this push is... Oh, it's got to get across the bridge, though. If it gets eaten up before it gets across the bridge, it's going to be really frustrating. He does have certainly options to sandwich it, especially coming down from here and through the Nidus. But this is a really big arc, and with no defilers, it's a strong arc, too. Not a lot of Marines in here, but the splash damage from these tanks will be tremendous. But we'll see what kind of a flank he can say. He could even do lings across the bridges, lings from underneath, lurkers from that side. That's interesting. Okay, so the Queen was obviously for ensnare, and here we go, running in from the back, and he's going to get some lurkers burrowed on top of those tanks. Let's see if he can spread these out here. And, oh, he's actually picking off most of the tanks. This is being handled pretty well by Snowfruit, but the Nidus Canal targeted down, and that is going to probably result in the natural falling. Good scan goes down. The ensnare is still causing a certain... this ensnare is actually really working out. Wow. This is really slowing these Marines down, significantly reducing their mobility and allowing the Lings to get a few kills. The medic can't even get back here to help heal. So I like this little play from Snowfruit. It's slightly silly, but it's working out really nicely, and it's going to help allow him to hold this push absolutely. Does pick off that Marine and cleans everything up. A very scary looking army from Scaramanga held off, and of course the Nidus Canal almost instantly remade. The only concern for Snowfruit at this point is his drone count is still very, very low. 29 drones. I mean, usually you'd have, you know, close over 30 just, you know, 10 minutes ago when you made the Mutalisk, and does Scourge a vessel right here. So that's the only concern for him, is he's got a very weak economy from a drone standpoint right now. Dropship flying in, but no medics. Could Scourge it. Doesn't seem to see it in time, though. A little bit more worried right now about sending some Lings over across the map. Let's see where that dropship can head. Marines are down, getting drone kills, so this is becoming a little bit concerning for Snowfruit, how much economy is hurting. A few more drones hatching, but we can see he's still at that weak economy now. This space is not stable at all. He needs to micro, Scaramanga over here needs to micro these vultures for his life. It's a little bit unfortunate. He's had this base for a while. He should have been able to get it a little bit more stable. He's going to have two vultures coming out in tandem here, which is good. And he is stemming Marine Firebat over here to defend this base. But these Marines down here still going to work, and we can see they've gotten another 10 or so drone kills as the numbers just continue to drop here for Snowfruit, who is definitely hurting economy-wise. And now these vultures are out, are cleaning up these Lings. So good defense from Scaramanga, who can go ahead and re-land that command center in time. And we can see the, again, just the economy from Snowfruit is going to become an issue here soon. I'd like to see some mines from Scaramanga for sure, and possibly some tanks over here. But, you know, he's starting to get this defended. Cluster all this up, and these Lings can't do anything against it. Spread out like this, maybe, but there still should be enough that these Lings won't really get anything done. Mine going down, and a little Ling running over here, and now we're just getting some vultures. Oh, do we finally have mines? Yeah, we got some mines. This is good. Gonna make it much harder for Snowfruit to just spam Lings at bases and wreak havoc that way. Nice little patrolling Ling here looking for expansions. In the meantime, Snowfruit is adding some drones like crazy. I mean, he really needs to. But of course, remember, this is a long time without units. Oh, this dropship is in a bad spot. But oh man, just when he's starting to add some drones, this happens. And 3 or 4 or 5 drones going down at the natural right away. Can he get any more? Quite potentially with these Firebats. These drones probably shouldn't be drilling this. The Firebats, if they splash good, could do some damage. But it looks like he's going to be able to run those drones away. Is he going to have units coming through the Nidus Canal? No, a random tank shows up out of freaking nowhere to kill the last few drones, and possibly to kill the Nidus Canal. This is a crazy attack here from Scaramanga. The single tank Nidus Canal sniper. Can he snipe it? Yes, he can. Now, if he has like a double drop coming to this base, aww. If only he'd seen that lurker faster. This drop could have been really good, really obnoxious. But unfortunately, it drops right on top of a lurker. And now we just kind of have some Marines running around crazily. Lots of action all over the place, though, but this drop shut down. Where are the Scourge? Needs to get a few Scourge out to deal with these dropships. Definitely don't want to leave these things alive sitting over your base, but again, the economy from Snowfruit is just not in a good situation. And it's, oh, holy shit. Okay. And all of a sudden, we have these 6 dropships of doom. And this might be a real problem. Snowfruit trying to take this opportunity to re-drone, but you know what that means? There's no Nidus Canal. He does Scourge that one dropship. Oh, there is a Nidus Canal. He's really good about rebuilding Nidus Canals, but he's got like no units. He's got a Defiler here. That's like his one hope, but he's going to have to react to this so fast. He does land a Scourge on one. Oh, 2 separate dropships. No! He doesn't even get one dropship, so now we have the mass Firebats, mass tanks, mass everything. Huge-ass drop in the main. off of 6 dropships and an army of vultures moving down at the same time. This looks really hard to deal with for Snowfruit. He can run the Defiler back to defend, but there's so many Firebats. Oh, Defiler and Lings isn't going to help, and his Lurker count is really, really low. And right now, it honestly doesn't even seem like there is a response from him. He's just adding buildings. He's going to try to run out here, but here come some vultures now against a wall of Sunkens. I don't really think they can get by and do much, but they can certainly prevent counterattacks and do horrible things like snipe Defilers, that is the last Defiler here. So Snowfruit is losing his main. He finally has the drones he wants, but it looks like it's about 2.5 minutes too late. Double Nidus Canals, but not very many units at all. Dropships trying to escape back, and I just don't see a way for Snowfruit now to defend this. It doesn't look like he has any sort of way to harass Scaramanga or even clean up this drop, and it looks like this game is slipping out of control of Snowfruit's hands. The slow economy, just not quite enough. His early gameplay looked downright beautiful, but just got a little bit behind in drones and eventually lost out, especially to this hidden base, fast base from Scaramanga, who I must say did some nice attacks of his own. I don't know what that is. Needs a scan. Okay, he's got a scan for this Lurker. Trying to pick it off, but Lurkers are pretty strong, man. Lurker's pretty strong. So the main base is raised. Vultures have a bunch of mines out here. I don't even know what he's doing. He's just got a shit ton of vultures running around the map. He's doing something with them. Maybe now they're going to come in and single-handedly try to take down the Sunken. Mass vultures versus 1 Sunken plus a Lurker. Get absolutely nowhere. Especially because he's not scanning for the Lurker. Snowfruit still has sweet economy now. Oh, decent economy. I wouldn't say sweet, but like decent. Trying to go for Ultralisk. He does have a little bit of a bank, but his bases are being so disrupted. He's still trying to take down this poor Sunken with vultures. Oh, and now he's got a tank down here. And of course he does have 2 tanks here that he could bring in from the other side if he wants to. Lands a Parasite on the tank for vision. A few Ultras popping out. Could possibly take down this army. Vultures aren't very strong against Ultras. Defiler comes out. That will change things quite a bit, so he will clean this up yet again. Snowfruit keeps defending, sort of, but he's losing a lot of drones now in all these defenses, and of course Scaramanga is now expanded to almost everywhere on the top part of Circuit Breaker, meaning that without some sort of miracle, Snowfruit is likely living on borrowed time. And Scaramanga obviously, quite focused on multitasking in the bottom corners of the map. Hasn't sent in the last of his army for a Doom attack. Obviously hasn't laid a whole lot of mines, but hey, what can you say? His attacks are doing a pretty fantastic job. Snowfruit just, yeah, almost triple supply at this point against a Terran with like 6 bases. I just don't, oh, and we got a triple drop coming in here. He's got a lot of Scourge out on the map. There are 2 Sunkens here though, so let's see, he's probably going to go drop all the way behind him. Oh, he's dropping right on top of the Lurker again. This Lurker's imba as fuck. Especially combined with these Sunkens. It's just like single-handedly shutting down Scaramanga's drops. Because it's like, it's right where he's trying to drop, plus the Sunkens. And I think he just had those drops queued up to like land. So there wasn't really any control there. And some Ultras popping through, so Snowfruit does hold off another wave of drops. And command centers and SCVs and all kinds of things happening everywhere. Some Scourges gradually trying to reduce the dropship count. Here we go. Another dropship gets Scourged. Needs 1 more Scourge for this poor dropship. But now, in the meantime, the big mech army has arrived, and there is not a Defiler to be seen. So, oh, there's 1 Defiler. Oh man, he's got to get a Lurker Bird under there. Oh, but he can just, holy shit, all of a sudden this Doom army shows up. He needs a Swarm, he needs a Lurker under Swarm. He just needs to irradiate that Lurker though, and that's it. I don't even think he can get under there though. If he tries to run under, there's enough splash that he's gonna die just trying to run there. Going for the Eraser now, no way to defend that. Oh, there actually are some Scourges, there's a way to defend that, but he's, okay. But that's all she, oh, nice bro. I mean, Snowfruit has some really nice moves, but nice moves, as nice as they look, they just don't do much when you're triple supply down. Trying to get the Scourge off on that vessel, but not quite going to happen. Finally, these tanks come down. Firebat Medic Wall is going to be annoying, but I think I think the Ultras might have enough gas to finally get up here on top of the tanks. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. And, oh, almost gets a Mind Drag. I don't know what the Defiler Mind Drag attempt? Maybe. But now he is underneath the swarm. He is into the third base, popping some Scourge. Can pick off a few of those vessels. This Imba medic wall is causing problems down here. 2 fresh Ultras, but not able to get rid of all of that. And it looks like the last vestiges of Snowfruit's defense are coming to an end. I think he's got to be close to typing out. He just doesn't have any units. He's flying around with a few Scourge. He's got an Ultra here, an Ultra there, but realistically, he just doesn't have much to fight Scaramanga with at this point. He's finally up into the main base. Is this weakened? No, he just wants to kill drones at this point. Just going to target fire down the rest of these drones. The Lurker with an obscene number of kills. And even though it probably only has 16 official kills, it's like assisted count is like another 50 kills. Parasiting these tanks, okay. Not sure it's really much, but I gotta give Snowfruit credit. He's fighting. He's fighting in this game. he's down to a 5th supply at this point. I don't know exactly what he's waiting for at this stage. This seems very determined. But I also sort of don't know what Scaramanga's waiting for. It's like, Scaramanga should have a lot more shit on the map. Especially because his money is actually pretty damn low. It's a little bit surprising he doesn't have a whole lot more stuff anywhere. I'm trying to figure out where his supply is. I guess it's just scattered around the map. But I mean, like, I don't know, Snowfruit Man, he's got 16 drones against this, like, a 6-base Terran. 1, 2, 3. Okay, he's got 5 bases. Okay, 4 bases. And there it is, GG. Snowfruit gives the good fight, but in the end, Scaramanga just a smidge too strong in this particular game. So now we go to Scaramanga versus Snowfruit game 2, but I really must say I liked the first 10-12 minutes of that game from Snowfruit. Unfortunately, he just got stuck on a little bit too low drones and let Scaramanga have that third base, and I think that eco advantage and those early effective drops eventually caused some problems for him. Looks like that was a 12 hatch. Oh, we had a little bit of a bunker scare here, but pulled back pretty quickly. SCV coming into scout, getting gas. What do we have here? eBay? eBay? No. Academy? We got 1 Rax. We got 1 Rax. We're going to lair off 2 hatches. 2 hatches lair. No hydrogen yet. Killing off the SCV. It looks like it's okay. It's going to be 2 hatch lurker. So Snowfruit this time is going for the aggressive lurker, and Scaramanga, in response to that, is going to go for a super fast factory and super fast starport. Now, there's one of 2 things going on here in this game. One is this is Scaramanga's build of choice for defending 2 hatch lurker, or 2, Scaramanga is thinking 2 hatch muta and wants to go for some sort of defense with vessel, but I forget exactly what his SCV saw, but I'm not really sure vessel's all that great for defending 2 hatch muta. It's pretty easy to scourge a single vessel, and that's like, if you go for something this fast, it's like your only defense. Oh, he actually wants Valks, so he's definitely thinking muta. And he's definitely wrong. So this is not good for Scaramanga. I mean, I cannot think you would build Valks against a lurker opening. And that's the only reason I could see him getting an armory. Either that or he's going to do some weird Goliath Valk thing, but that's still bad against lurkers. He really wants in to see, but he's just not going to get it. He probably just saw 2 hatch and assumed muta. Now the Lings are going to come down and snipe the SCV. That's a nice move. I don't think he saw the Hydra. Slightest of chance he did. He's adding an eBay. He's getting... That's like air attack. Yeah, he absolutely thinks this is muta. He's just totally misled by this. I mean, and with just 1 bunker, if he doesn't know what's up, there's a good chance Snowfruit can just come in here and bust him once these lurkers are done. Wonder if he's going to try to scout again. He's got a vulture. Oh, he's actually got mines. Well, that's interesting. Mines give him a much better chance to defend than before, especially if he sees these lurkers morphing out here somewhere on the map. Now, Snowfruit wisely is putting them into a hidden-esque position, and And if he just goes by the mines, it could work out for him. He's building the Valkyrie, which is going to be useless. I mean, he's going to harass the Overlords, but Snowfruit has Hydras. So he might lose an Overlord or two, but this boss is going to be super dangerous because it's not at all what Scaramanga is prepared for. I mean, there's not turrets. He needs like to make a shit ton more vultures and lay crazy mines. And probably build a second bunker to defend. Because if he doesn't do that, it's going to be really, really bad. He's got mines in cool places, but those cool places don't defend the lurkers at all. And here come the lurkers. Alright, so let's see if they run into these mines or what path he takes. Okay, so the one lurker's going to eat the mines, but the other three are just going to come right up here and burrow. And there's not even a scanner. So he can't see this lurker, and the bunker is about to die. He's going to get some Overlord kills, which is admittedly quite nice. He's going to try to repair, but the repair is not going to be that effective. Right now it can hold off, but he can move this lurker into range. Should be able to burrow in time. And now we've got 3 lurkers with spines attacking, and now he's just got to lay as many mines as possible and try to delay these lurkers coming across the map while harassing with Valks. But of course the SCVs can't repair, and now the Marines are dead, and we will see Snowfruit immediately... Actually, wait, this is Scaramanga playing Zerg? What the hell? I guess they're switching races. Well, sorry, this is Scaramanga's Zerg. So Snowfruit was totally fooled by this. Wait, no, never mind. Scaramanga's turn. Never mind. I just had a weird... Wait. Oh, because I saw the brown on the lurker. I just had a moment. Never mind. Snowfruit is still the Zerg. And Scaramanga just says GG. So yeah, just I don't know if that was a misread, but I think it was just a misassumption. I think Scaramanga just saw 2-hatch lair and thought, oh, for sure it's Muta, and did an anti-Muta build, and then it was not. So just bad read from Scaramanga. And Snowfruit takes the game, and Scaramanga opts to play on Destination. So in the top right-hand corner, as the purple Zerg with the, almost perfect split, we have Snowfruit. And in the bottom right-hand corner, as the yellow Terran, we have Scaramanga. And we're going to have the overpool here from Snowfruit. Pretty typical early game stuff, and just expanding here from Scaramanga. A few lings out, but looks like the ramp is comfortably blocked. 4 Marines on top of a ramp should be fine. 5 Marines now, yeah, definitely nothing gonna happen. Gonna push him out of the natural, start getting that bunker up, float the CC out, and what do we have here from builds at this point? We're going for 2-hatch lurker yet again, which obviously ramps on Destination strong as hell. So we'll see how this plays out. He is again opting for this factory. Please tell me he's not going to blindly assume lurkers this time. He's getting an academy pretty fast, which suggests that he may not be assuming that. Might be a little more in anticipation of lurkers. We got the shop. That's like last time. Oh, the ling isn't. Oh, that's super annoying. Especially if that SCV doesn't... Okay, that's really obnoxious. That is going to delay his range even further. Not having range against lurkers is a big deal. He does notice it, though, and he's got an SCV on top of that. He's getting his eBay up this time, yeah, so it doesn't look like he's trying to defend against Muta this time, so that part is good. And now we'll see if he's going to... It looks like he's going to move these Hydra out on the map. Then the SCV is going to scout the Hydra, so he's going to know. He needs a double bunker. 1 bunker will not defend this, especially with the low Marine count and the not that fast siege. I mean, it's faster than normal, but it's not like he's going to have crazy siege tank numbers. And he's not opting for scans yet, which he needs 2 bunkers and like 1 or 2 turrets like right behind the bunker to see the lurkers, and even then it's going to be a little bit dangerous because his Marine count is going to be super low. If Scaramanga or if Snowfruit makes a lot of lings behind this and then busts with 5-6 lurkers plus lings, and the bridges aren't really blocked, Scaramanga will again lose outright. I mean, he'll have a vessel to detect, so that's probably why he's delaying his scanners. But remember, the unit count for this is super, super low. I think I understand why he wants the fast tech, but I feel like it's just really low unit count. And of course, the scanners again aren't even done. If the lurkers just go right behind, they can just burrow and shut down the natural as it is. Can he delay this turret? If he can get this turret, which it looks like he might be able to, this is going to be interesting and close. Oh my gosh, he is denying the turret for right now. He needs to get another SCV on it, but I don't think he's going to try that, and it looks like Snowfruit is going to start moving in here. Now, will he make Lings behind this? I think that's the most effective way to win against this low unit Terran, but the bunker is already dead, and there are scans, but there's not Marines. I don't think they'll have range at this point. I guess they could if he's researched it really fast, but I don't think he rushed out that academy. I'm going to keep watching the academy. He does have a scan. It doesn't appear to have stim, but he is splitting okay, but man, these Marines just not very effective, and now the scan is out, and he's lost most of them. Actually, Snowfruit is playing this really interesting with a double expand. I'm really sad not to see reinforcements, because reinforcements would just outright win him the game. He's also not moving these lurkers forward when he could be. He's going to let double bunkers plus the tank finish it. It looks like, because he didn't quite sense the ability to take the win, it looks like he's going to allow Scaramanga to defend, and he's going to lose these lurkers at the front. Well, there should be a second scan to burn, right? Yeah, there it is. Now he's got to move up and move back out, and then will he run back in? Well, he can't with just one lurker. So Scaramanga gets a bit lucky there. Well, maybe lucky's the wrong word, but catches something of a break, as Snowfruit didn't just flood Lings or make more lurkers. Would have had the win for sure in that situation. Now Hydra's out to fight this Wraith. Nothing's going on though, so Scaramanga should notice and pull the Wraith back. There we go. 2 Sunkens going up here to defend the third. Of course, the fourth is going to be protected. Wraith's picking off an Overlord over here. Interesting that he opted for Wraiths. I guess he wanted a unit that attacks to help with the lurkers. Something like that. Wraiths are definitely being annoying though. Oh, he's actually made some muta after this, so that's going to get interesting. Going to pick off that Wraith. And of course, there's not going to be Cloak or anything. Getting a science facility. He's going to need to add turrets now, though, which is going to annoy him. Especially if this muta count builds up a little bit. Yeah, he is going to build up the muta count, so we're going to get a chance to see Snowfruit's muta control here off of these 4 bases. No Queen's Nest yet, but the economy this time from Snowfruit is already a pretty healthy, 40 drone economy. He's taken the time to really drone up behind this. And of course, he's forcing out these turrets here from Scaramanga. That's kind of a silly turret. Although with just 5 or 6 muta, I'm not sure it's the greatest of times to dive on the turret. Especially not sending a muta away to avoid losing it. He needs to wait for a few more muta before he comes in here. I don't know what this is. This is not smart. If it was like the 1 muta fake, just to scare him, I would say that's fine. But diving in with 3 muta, I mean, he took a lot of damage on those 3 muta. Narrowly misses the Wraith, kind of notices the last second and thinks, can I get it? But no. And oh my gosh, this is like super Sauron expandy Zerg. Just gonna go everywhere at once. It's gonna give him a lot of hatches. He's got a pretty decent economy. I mean, Scaramanga's gonna have this window, I think, where he can still build up a decent army with a few tanks and vessels if he starts making those. I mean, he's already got a lot of tanks. So it's kind of a tricky army to deal with. The muta being wasted on the turrets right now is not what he wants at all. So the idea behind this, with just 2 or 3 barracks, the Marine count is not going to be that high. It's going to have a lot of tanks. It's obviously going to have pretty fast tech, but it means that a larger lair army can usually handle the first round of this pretty good, and then you can sort of tech behind that. So at some point here, Snowfruit is going to need to make units, but looking at his economy and what he has, if he just makes a lot of units, he should hold the attack purely on just having a lot of shit, especially if he does a decent flank. I mean, a lot of shit plus a flank will outright crush this. Of course, if he doesn't get either of those and Scaramanga is able to maneuver himself into a nice position, it will be a really successful attack for him. It definitely has the potential, but I think given the timings and given the amount of economy that Snowfruit has, I think at this point, when Terran starts to move out, he can just start to pump a lot of Lings and Lurkers and just flank and kill this on pure flank. Because let's face it, tanks are not very good against Lings, and if you send in 2 or 3 groups of Lings and some Lurkers around this entire army, there's just not a lot of firepower. It's good at dealing with a Zerg army that doesn't have very many units. It's relying on like Lurker Ling to defend. Are those slow? Those are slow though. That's not good. Alright, well, we're coming over to the 3rd base, and unfortunately with these sort of sunken positioning, it doesn't really protect the 3rd base. I don't think mutas are going to help him defend that much unless he's really got some excellent muta control to show us. He's trying to pick off a few of these non-medic Marines, but they're not even hotkeyed with the Overlord or whatever, so they're not grouped up. You should at least burrow the Lurkers or something up here. He's charging up. This is pretty aggressive. Is Snowfruit going to go for the flank yet? I don't know. He doesn't have lurkers. He can't go for just lings unless he just really wants the tanks, but I don't know what he's doing. These are like slow lings too. So not the best attack from Snowfruit, only able to get one of the tanks, and of course he's going to lose the third base, and if Scaramanga knows about it, he's going to lose the back base as well. Although Scaramanga now faced with an interesting decision. Do I run and try to go for the main or a different base, or do I go back here and take my time killing this now super defended third base and take my chances? And it looks like he's having a little bit of trouble deciding. I don't even know for sure if he knows about this base. Of course, this is not a gas base, so that could influence his decision making, and we can see that Snowfruit realized he had a lot of drones, so he's just popping down a ton of sunken colonies. And now that this first wave has been successful, we can see Snowfruit doesn't have a lot of units on the army, a lot of units on the map. And Scaramanga's now got 5 racks plus 2 factories running, so the army is no longer small and flankable. It's really to the point where he needs Hive to defend, especially having lost his other bases and opportunities to flank. But his defilers are a long way from being done, so this push from Scaramanga looks really intimidating at this point. Although losing, well, that's a nice D-matrix. All right, that's cute. That's cute. It's going to allow him to save that tank, although with the lurkers burrowing, it may not allow him. Where's the scan? Oh, there's the vessel. Never mind. That works just as well. Will he save this tank? It's going to be really close. Oh my gosh. It looks like it's going to just barely die. Okay, just finally gets rid of that tank, but still a lot of Marines back here. Does need to be careful with these lurkers across the bridges. Very aggressive here from Scaramanga, taking down the lurker, but he wants to break the natural. He wants the win here and now. It's hard to tell. It looks like he might just have enough to break the natural, but he's not reinforcing well at all. I don't see any drops or anything going on, so I don't know what is distracting him from the reinforcements, which means that perhaps there is a chance for Snowfruit to defend this, but certainly he is taking some damage right now in the natural. Where are the reinforcements? Where are lurkers or other units being built on other sides of the map, though, to flank this? Oh, never mind. Part of the reason there's not reinforcements is because we're doing a dropship here into the main. Pretty good timing for that. Not a lot of units. Snowfruit, does he see it? Not right now, because he is also busy trying to position himself in the natural. So these guys are going crazy. He's popped out some ultras, but they're slowtras with not even armor at this point. I think the Massling can eventually clean this up, especially with the significant upgrade advantage for Snowfruit. However, this drop in the main definitely killing off a good number of drones right now, and has reduced Snowfruit to that weak economy that you don't want to have. Where is the eBay? Okay, so he's not upgrading. At least he's not close to 2-2 or 2-1. Made a few panic mute. I'm not sure what those guys were for, but bleeding those off. So these ultras are going to be pretty fucking strong. Oh, that is an obnoxious. That worked out okay. That worked out okay for some stacked drones. I think it was only 2, but no, it's too bad he doesn't have 2 carapace on the way. If he had 2 carapace on the way, these ultras would be getting so invincible. 4 armor, that'd be 5 armor against Marine. They'd be doing 1 damage a shot. Like, these Marines are already not doing much, but if they were doing 1 damage a shot, it'd be nothing. But oh, look at this Scaramanga sneaking out an army around the side, which Snowfruit does not look to be poised to deal with. I mean, this upgrade advantage is a really big deal right now, and will become a huge deal if he doesn't switch to mech shortly. But it's a question of, can Snowfruit get out enough units in time to make use of it? I mean, he doesn't even have any defense here in the natural, which is going to just let Scaramanga walk in, but there's also no medics with this army, so if he can get out some lings, especially because he's got these super lings, relatively speaking, you can see they are not dying at all like you would expect, because they are significantly upgrade advantaged. Look how good these lings are doing. I don't even know if they're Hive lings yet. He should have crack, as he does have Hive, but oh man, look at this, adding Sunkens everywhere. Snowfruit just determined not to give up the ghost. But he is definitely running into Terran problems in multiple places. These 3 Marines, he just doesn't have a way to deal with them. His macro is like out of control. It just doesn't seem like he's making much. You know, when you consider how many hatcheries he has, 1, 2, 3, 4, well, 4 or 5 hatcheries, and the lack of units we're seeing on the map, it just looks like a little bit of this is a macro problem. He also wasn't able to get any units out during the time Scaramanga was pushing, and I guess the game ended, and Scaramanga won. I don't know. I really think Snowfruit could have had that. I'd have to go back and watch closely, but I think he just didn't sense soon enough what was happening from Scaramanga and didn't make units snap, snap, snap on the ball when Scaramanga moved out, and then he attacked also with just 2 groups of Purling without having any lurkers. If he would have been spending his gas a little bit more, making a few more lurkers, and setting up a flank for Scaramanga's army, and or abusing the bridges to slow down and buy time, that would have been a defendable attack by Snowfruit, but he just didn't buy enough time, and unfortunately that engagement at his third really kind of set the train in motion, and lack of supporting macro during that sort of put the nail in the coffin. But we'll go into our next game. So in the top left-hand corner, as the yellow Zerg, we have Genji. And in the top right-hand corner, as the purple Zerg, we have Valor. And I forget, I think we've seen a game or 2 from Valor now. I can't remember his skill level, though, so we'll just have to watch and see. I know this is kind of a shocking pronouncement, but either he's pretty decent Zerg or he's pretty new. I realize that kind of, you know, spans most of the gamut, but I guess what I'm trying to say is I feel like he's either like C- or he's like D. Probably not a D+ C- guy. We are getting, you know, that's kind of weird. That was an 11 pool. If he's at 10 supply now and hasn't made anything, he's doing 11 pool with maybe no gas. And this was probably over gas from Genji. I wasn't paying close enough attention to the start. I've only just started playing ZVZ in my Zerg career, so I'm not like super adept at recognizing all the builds offhand. I kind of have to see them as they happen to have a good call. He's going to put down a creep colony. Not having scouted anything, I guess. That also speaks to overgas. I think if you would have gone overpool, you wouldn't be worried about a creep colony, but the fact that he's putting that down strongly suggests overgas. Otherwise, I think Genji's being insanely defensive. Like, you don't need an immediate creep colony if you're playing overpool. I got a little idle drone there. We'll see if he notices that. That's in a tricky spot. I could see that easily slipping the eye, depending on exactly what you're doing. And he's going to go 11 pool into expansion, channeling his inner Pauline, although I don't think Pauline uses... Alright, Mass Lings. Mass Lings most likely. But I don't think Pauline uses 11 pool in ZVZ. I could be wrong, but I know there was a time, I don't know if you guys remember IFU Pauline, but he was like in love with 11 pool. He professed that it was pretty much the most amazing thing ever to hit the world. Overlord scouting over towards Valor's base, so he's finally going to see it. Going to see the 3 hatches going up now. The question is, will he go scout the nat? Oh, he's already scouted the natural. So he's going to see the natural, and he's going to see the 3rd hatch. And we'll see how he responds. This is one of those situations that I feel like if you're Genji, can get a little bit difficult because he doesn't have an expansion, right? Like, he's going to get fast Muta, but Valor's going to have so many Zerglings that if he spores up and continues to send Lings across the map, he can quite potentially snipe the Spire. He can definitely eventually get the creep colony. He can keep the drone count low, and if Genji doesn't defend really well, you get in this is kind of smart, I guess, putting down 2 Sunkens to defend, but it's one of those situations where, although it's kind of funny that Genji is possibly going to be threatening the hatchery here of Valor, despite the fact that Valor's doing 3 hatchery Zergling. But it looks like that pressure is pretty much over. Speed is done. Oh, he's actually going to get a few Lings into the main, though. Drones from Valor definitely having a bit of difficulty here. We'll see if he can see how many drones Genji can pick off. Running around with those Lings trying to be obnoxious. Valor gets one of them without any kills going down. And now Genji running back into the natural. Is he going to just run out of here? Is he going to try to go back into the main? Oh, he's going to try to go back in the main, but one Ling gets caught, and the other one, oh, had those been on attack move, it probably would have died. He's buying some nice time, but he's still got a ways to go for his Spire, right? So, I mean, this is going to be a lot of Zerglings, and kind of going back to my earlier point, you can run those in and harass with the Zerglings. You can spore up once the Muta are out, and then the Muta can't kill you, and you can go into this, you can get into this awkward position where you're playing against this Zerg with 3 hatcheries with crazy larva and drones, and he can really drone hard, and actually offers a weird window where you can even go into Hydra sometimes if you want, and possibly even transition to Muta, although it's a little bit trickier because you will lag behind a bit in the count. And now we have the initial engagement going, but this is certainly not enough Lings. Honestly, with 2 Sunkens, this is probably not breakable, but it's absolutely an option to spend a few Lings picking off drones. Of course, he's going to need to spore up. There's the Evo chamber, which he's doing. And then it'll be interesting to see how he chooses to play this from here. I would not be surprised at all if we see a transition into Hydra. The meter are out now, though, which means these lings either need to do something or give up the ghost. Is he just going to go for drones? I think he should just go for drones, but it looks like he's actually going for the attack. Pretty decent drone pull here, though, from Genji, who basically takes no damage. I mean, a drone loss hurts. For sure, a drone loss hurts. But that wasn't the worst damage ever. And it looks like Valor's plan is just to send a whole bunch of lings. Oh, this is a horribly placed creep colony, though. Oh, Jesus. That's like, you can kill the entire top half. You can kill the gas. This is just, it's really a poor placement for the creep colony. Although he is getting a few drone kills here, but unfortunately the rest of the lings moved in on a move. And honestly, there's some chance the spore colony doesn't finish. It's not going to... Okay. So I think Genji just won game 1. It's going to be the same issue here, but with 4, if there gets to be 1 or 2 more muta, oh, he's just going to go for drones. I don't like that. I think you should just go for winning right now. Weaken this up and then come back when you have 7 muta and just kill it. But he wants all the drones. Now he's got to run away. Maybe he's just going to target fire drones down still. But against 3 hatches, you got to remember, you can reproduce drones pretty fast. Now I'm going to turn and go for the natural. Made a few lings of his own. Oh, that's actually a really smart decision too. That's a good option. Making a few lings of his own. There's no sunkens here. And if he just parks his muta here, he can start to pick away at things. And with just 1 spore, he is not safe. I feel like sometimes Zerg players get a little too scared of spores. Honestly, I think 6 is sort of the magic number. Definitely 7. You can easily kill a spore. And there's just 1 spore standing between him and victory. He might just go straight for the spore. And if not, with no defense, the drones are just going to get massacred. He can absolutely kill the spore, and there it is. GG. Well played from Genji. Perhaps not quite the execution for Valor. A little bit of post-game excuse making. That would be pretty annoying. I've actually had this happen to me, so this might be sort of a legit excuse. I have had that happen in 1.18. I've never had that happen on an IC Cup, I don't think. Maybe I have. I don't know. I can't remember. I can't recall. I must be Jaehoon. Alright, so Valor versus Genji. Game 2, and it looks like Valor's picked, could you believe it, Biting Spear. So, spawning in the top right-hand corner as the blue Zerg, we have Valor. And in the top left-hand corner as the brown Zerg, we have Genji, who has opted for, this time it was definitely 9-pool gas. Or actually, never mind, that might have been overpool. In fact, it looks like overpool. Judging from the count as well, overpool, 11 and then hold, so yeah. Link speed on the way here though from, yeah, we can see the contrast here between 9-pool speed and overpool for speed, and then into a creep colony. Man, this overpool creep colony stuff's super defensive. This was not an overgas this time either. You can see the gas mine is similar. Actually, could it have been overgas? Whew. He does have 100 more gas, which would be weird. This might have actually been overgas, which would again explain the... I do not like this sunken position though. You can run lings up the back and get like 6 on this so fast, and there's no way to drill if lings go up there. I don't really like it. But we're gonna have a little bit of a ling engagement in the natural. So again, Genji with the fast ling pressure, but it looks like, well, neither player had an arc at first, but I felt like Valor had a slightly better arc this time, although he's bleeding lings off really badly. Valor is definitely getting the worst end of control out of this one. And now he is going to have maybe a hard time defending, but he does have some lings pop, and now it looks like he's enough. Whoa, Valor pulling a shit ton of drones off the mineral line. Definitely doesn't need it. He has got the ling advantage now, although Genji is flooding in a few more lings, not able to coordinate them working together perfectly. Would help if they all got in here. But I think right now he's just trying to pick off drones. I think if he's doing this though, he should at least send these lings here to go attack and pick off innocent strays popping. Try to abuse the multitask of Genji a little bit. And, oh, there's a little bit of a mistake from Valor losing a free ling, but now it looks like Genji's focused on other things. Yeah, these lings here in the natural. Gonna get a little bit of damage done on the hatchery, but Valor will certainly defend it. Just a matter of not letting Genji run into the main base. Genji microing the shit out of his lings. I mean, he's not doing bad, and he is keeping up with his build overall, so not too bad. Yeah, I agree. Zerg is definitely heavily favored in ZVZ. It's a pretty ridiculously imbalanced matchup in favor of Zerg. Faust apparently asking for bans. Oh, we got a drone, so nice. 10 drones against 9 drones. But Spire's on the way. Evo Chamber. Interesting game again. So we got 2 hatches here. But I'm gonna be curious to see where he places the Spore. I hope to God he places it somewhere that makes good sense. Oh, this is such a... Oh, he's gonna double Spore. Okay, that's fine. This means he's got pretty good gas coverage, and this will give him pretty complete mineral line coverage. But right now we've got a serious Ling attack going on over here, and he has shredded through all the Lings, and now it is just the drones drilling, and this is not a good drone drill, guys. These drones are way too clustered. Genji is going to take a lot of damage from these Lings, although... Honestly, Valor somehow didn't recollect them. I actually thought he was going to kill more. We can see these 2 Lings couldn't be defended. And so now Genji's hurting economically. Is sporing up this base as well, and that's gonna... Oh, actually, he was able to get his 3 Muta out. That's why he didn't have, I guess, the Lings to defend. But he's scared enough that he's gonna put down a creep colony here. And he's left in this uncomfortable position. He does have Muta, but by the same token, he needs to make this Spore or run these drones away. He's gonna lose 2 or 3 drones here. But Valor has a way better economy right now. So now it's just down to how they play it. The fact that he's protected his gas is pretty nice, but he's going for an extremely slow Spire. So now it's one of these parts where Genji really needs to decide, oh, he's actually going to lose the natural. Okay, this is becoming an extremely good position for Genji now. This went from, for Genji to, like, commandingly in control of this game. Now it's 1 gas to 1 gas. Genji really shouldn't lose from here, especially we're on equal hatcheries. Even with his hurting economy, it's going to be hard to lose. He cannot go in here and kill him, but he can definitely go finish the hatchery off, and that's going to leave him in a really nice spot with complete air control. It's going to be super hard for Valor to catch up. You know, I mean, he'll have to take a quick break here probably and remake a couple drones, but it's going to be almost impossible for Valor to catch up in Muta count, 1 gas to 1. So it's going to be complete air superiority. Probably from this point, Genji can just go home, defend the Lings, drone up, and then be in control of the game from here. Although, I will say this. If these Lings come in and Genji doesn't react and he loses several of these drones, it will give Valor a definite window to get back into this game. So he needs to get back here. Oh, and he is coming back here with the Muta, which will help. As will the Sunken plus 2 Lings, but we'll see. I think he just wants drones. Oh, going for the Sunken. This is terrible to see. Okay, he's trying to bait the drones out. That's a little better. He gets 1. Can he get 2? Every drone kill here is big, but he can't get 2. He only gets 1 drone. So Genji has made another one in the process. Muta now come back to defend. And did he get any Muta out in the meantime? No, but he's actually banked up a lot. He's going to make Scourge. Scourge do offer a window to get back into this a little bit for Valor if the micro is not good from Genji. That's absolutely the case. Hopefully he won't waste them on Overlords. I don't think that would be worth it at this point. And we can see he's actually going to try to Spore his way the fuck out of here, which is probably not the best decision making. It could work out, but honestly I think he's just wasting economy and things like that for no real reason. And it looks like Genji is taking this opportunity to drone. I really like this. He's got enough air superiority, he can afford to do this. The only thing Genji will have to watch if Mutas do get made in this window, which it doesn't appear that they are, but if he does catch up a little bit in Muta here while Genji is droning, it'll be important for Genji to not be caught out harassing or trying to harass when Valor or when Valor's Mutas are also going to harass Genji, because Genji won't be able to harass effectively with these Spore colonies, whereas Valor will have free reign. So it'll be important, much more important for Genji to be aware of Valor's Mutas than the opposite case. Someday, Faust, I'll get there. I'll get there. If I could find a little more time to play, I could probably get there in a couple months. But it's just a matter of finding the time. Okay, holy shit, this could be really bad for Genji. That is really bad for Genji. Holy shit, that was really bad for Genji. Oh my god, he's going to lose both these last 2 as well. So, I don't know, I think Valor's going to win this game. Oh, he didn't split his Scourge. So 1 weak-ass Muta. So now it's 12 drones, although Genji has cut up economically. Alright, so this game could go either way. This game could go either way. That was... that was... Yeah, it was... I'm gonna attack the hatchery and for some reason assume you... Please don't use bow. Scourge! Ah! Oh well. Oh well. Both players are expanding. And this game is now weird. It's like dead equal. Actually, no. Valor's at a definite advantage. He's already got 2 hatcheries to work with. So Valor with a definite working advantage at this point. Although he may also about to be scourged to oblivion, especially if the cloning is decent. And it is. So both players are having serious idle muta problems and losing a lot of muta to scourge. It's one of those things, I mean, it's hard to do in CVZ, but honestly, like, if you're not going to actively watch your muta, I would make sure they're at least moving around the map, like, move them somewhere so they're not easy to scourge, or sit them over a spore colony. Because just letting them attack an overlord is not good. You know, it's like, you have to be aware of the fact that you're not a pro gamer, and you're not going to watch your muta all the time, so apparently Genji just GG's, doesn't have enough to defend. I honestly didn't think the position was that fucked for Genji. He was in a bad spot. But I guess Valor thought so. So, Valor ties it up 1-1, and we go into the deciding game between Valor and Genji on Destination, the map of Genji's choice. So, let's see what we do for builds here. Genji spawning in the top corner as the brown Zerg, and as the green Zerg in the bottom position, we have Valor. Overlords going out to do some scouting. Alright, what are we getting for builds? Oh, we got a 4-pool here from Genji. And from Valor, this is going to be important. It's going to be a 9-pool, so this should be a pretty solid game from Valor. Ling should be out in time for the arrival of Le 4-pool, and that will leave Genji in a pretty poor spot. Be a little bit interesting to see. He's going to go for Ling speed first, so yeah, Lings are out. Now, all Valor has to do at this point is not fuck up his initial attack, and he's already scouted this, so he should be fine, although Genji's getting off some nice initial hits. But there we go. We've got a beautiful arc now at the top of the ramp. Oh, wow. Valor is sort of throwing this. He still should be fine, but he needs to be careful and not lose drones. If he loses 3 or 4 drones like this, that immediately ties the game up. He's going for the flank, and he's getting an okay engagement, gradually whittling down the numbers, but certainly Genji is being really efficient here, and he has almost managed to even this game out, has killed enough Lings off now. Ling speed is on the way, so he's going to be able to deal with this efficiently, and that gets cleaned up, and Genji just GG's. And Valor will take it 2-1 over Genji. And that, my friends, will be all for today. Is all the games we have for you guys. Sorry, some of you were just now streaming in. Yeah, award for the best game of the day is gonna definitely have to go to Snowfruit and Scaramanga. Although I don't know, Hafnium and both those series are pretty good. They're worth a watch. Hafnium and Snowfruit or Hafnium and Probua and Snowfruit and Scaramanga. Both pretty decent series. I'd have to think. I think I'd still probably have to give game of the day to Circuit Breaker. Snowfruit versus Scaramanga. Throw of the day, almost throw of the day, definitely goes to our Protoss hero against Mikami, Fat Reaver, arc times. That was, we had a Protoss on 2.5 bases with triple the supply of Terran, and he came really close to losing the game. Really close to losing the game. He literally was triple supply. It was like 170 supply against 60 supply. Something ridiculous like that. 3 bases against 2, almost lost. Sorry, I have to give him a little bit of shit about that, because that was painful. It was like so over that I started fast forwarding, and then he somehow did this horrible attack, and then I was like, wait, this game could actually be close. But yeah, I think that's all we've got. Jealous will be doing the cast of the other series, which was Team versus... Fuck, I don't remember who the team is, but Team versus somebody. And I'm not sure when that is. I think he's planning on Sunday, but don't quote me. But check for Saturday or Sunday. It's probably going to be one of those 2 days. And thanks to everybody for watching, and I'll see you all next time.